Now again comes radio's strangest adventurer, the Shadow, mystery man who strikes terror into the very hearts of shopsters, lawbreakers, and criminals. Today on the air, Blue Coal brings you the Shadow's latest adventure, Hounds in the Hills. In just a moment, the Shadow's exciting adventure will begin. Meanwhile, I have an important message for everybody. We are now in the midst of the most treacherous season of the entire year. But you can protect your family's health during this danger period by burning blue coal. For blue coal gives you clean, uniform, healthful heat all winter long. And its harmless blue coloring is your guarantee of better heat at less cost. So when you order fuel, insist on blue coal. It's Pennsylvania's finest anthracite. Your nearest blue coal dealer will be glad to send you a trial ton. Phone him tomorrow. High in the pine-clad hills of North Carolina, where backwoods living is neighbor to palatial winter homes, there is a haunted mansion, relic of former grandeur. With no visible means of support, old Sadie, haggard, half-demented creature, and Jake, a hunchback son, live in one wing of the dilapidated old house. A pack of great, vicious, crossbreed hounds guards the old place from intruders. It is early evening. In the dim half-light, two figures, led by one of the hounds, approach the house.
I don't like it here. I want to go home.
What's the matter, little boy? You ain't afraid of my pet dog, are you?
Yes, I am. I'm afraid of your dog, and I'm afraid of you, too.
Yeah.
I want to go home to my mother. I don't want to go with you.
I take my dog wherever I go. He won't hurt you. Not so long as you're with me, he won't. Don't tell him what he'd do to you if he got you alone, Dickie.
My name isn't Jakey. My name is Dickie Nelson. And if you don't let me go home, my mother will be worried.
Now, Dickie, don't be scared, old Sadie. I'm your mother. Old Sadie's your mother. Didn't know that, did you?
You're not my mother. And I don't believe there's other little boys here like you said.
No. Wait, Dickie. I got lots of sons now. Old Sadie will show you. Mom, it's me, Jake. Yeah, that's Jake. You're what he was before I dropped him and hurt his back.
Who's that you got with you, Mom?
Who's that?
Now, don't you be scared of him, Jakey.
I don't like him. He's awful looking.
Jakey? He's a hunchback. His mother dropped him when he was a little fellow like you. I dropped him. We'll start all over again with a new Jakey. I won't drop you. You won't be a hunchback like he is.
I want to go home to my mother and Daddy. I don't like anything here. Leave me alone. Don't touch me. Don't you touch me.
Mom, you crazy old fool. You done it again.
Nice drive, Lamont. Your golf's improving.
So, Cranston, you don't always miss the ball, eh?
Well, that's what a vacation in North Carolina does for you. Especially when you're the host, Mr. Rupert.
I thought you were always on vacations, Lamont. I've never heard of you doing anything except dabbling in that mysterious laboratory of yours.
Yes, just a playboy.
Yes, I just dabble. A little science, a little chemistry, a little psychology.
Just dabble.
Someone's calling you, Gary.
He'd be in a hurry.
Why, it's the sheriff. I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
Perhaps he saw you drive, Gary.
Yeah?
Sorry to bother you.
Well, what is it, Sheriff?
Another child's lost. Gone over the cliff at the border trail.
What, another one?
Yes, sir. Little Dickie Nelson this time.
Good Lord, Sheriff, this is horrible.
Child lost? Is that what you said, Sheriff?
Yes, sir. Fourth in less than 2 weeks.
Lost? Lost how?
On the border trail over the cliff there.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, what is this trail, Gary?
Well, it's a narrow pathway along the rim of a high cliff. It washes out so that a slip on the gravel starts to slide right over the cliff.
And you mean to say 4 boys have been lost there in 2 weeks?
Yes?
Boy?
Yes, but doesn't it strike you there might be something more than just fate causing the disappearance of these children?
Well, but what?
Well, I don't know. Gary, I'd like to look at this cliff.
Look, Mr. Transton. You see how the trail washes out down the cliff?
Yes, yes.
That's 1,000 feet straight down there.
The river at the bottom.
Yeah. I reckon the current must carry the bodies away. We haven't found a trace of them.
I don't suppose there's any doubt about what happened to the boys.
No, Miss Lane. When Bobby Mina disappeared last week, we found a ball he'd been playing with.
Would you call that conclusive evidence?
Well, this morning we snared up Dickie Nelson's cap that was caught on some shrubbery part way down the mountain. Of course, some of the colored folk around here think Ghost done it.
Ghost?
Yeah. See, they was howling last night about the time Dickie was lost here.
What kind of howling, Sheriff?
Darned if I know, sir. They say they heard it the 3 times the other boys were lost. But you know how they are. Colored folks up here in the hills is superstitious.
Yes. But what kind of a howl does a ghost make in this part of the country, Sheriff?
And that's what I asked. About as near they could describe it, it was like a dog howling. A hound dog.
Well, I've generally found that a dog howling means a dog. Perhaps I'd better reverse the usual procedure. The dog trailing a man.
It's all very mysterious, Lamont.
Yes, it is, Margot. Will you excuse me for a moment, Sheriff?
Yeah, certainly, Mr. Cranston.
Margot, I think the shadow will look into this mystery.
But how?
Go back to the house, Margot. I'll wireless you if I need help. In my invisible state as the shadow, I'm going to follow the clue of the dogs. Let's see where it leads me.
I want to go home.
Don't cry, Dickie. Don't cry.
Huh? What's that? Who are you?
I've come here to help you. You're Dickie Nelson, aren't you?
Yes, sir, but who are you? It's so dark I can't see you.
You don't need to see me, Dickie. Pretend I'm just a shadow. But you can hear me.
Yes, sir, but I want to go home.
Here, you've got to be a man, Dickie. I'll try to get you home. But you've got to stop crying and help me.
I'm scared, that's why.
Haven't you got a handkerchief?
No, sir.
Here, use my handkerchief.
Thank you.
Now dry your eyes and wipe your nose. I want you to tell me something.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other boys here?
Yes, sir, 3 of them. How did you get here?
I believed a ghost story, Dickie. And I looked for a ghost who howled like a hound. And then I just walked. But I didn't find a ghost. I found what I expected to find. A dog. In fact, lots of them.
Didn't they see you?
No.
Didn't old Sadie or Jake see you?
No, it's dark in here. But even with a light on, people can't see me because I've learned how to make them think they don't see me. I blind their eyes to me.
How?
Never mind how. You must believe it and don't be afraid of me. I'm your friend.
Yes, sir.
Trust me, Dickie. Perhaps I can find a way to get you and the other boys out of this. Quiet. Somebody coming.
If the sheriff finds these kids here, they'll hang us, you crazy old fool.
Jake, now don't you touch my baby. He's my Jesse. He's you before you came a hunchback. If you kill him, you'll be killing yourself. He's you, Jake.
You keep away from me. Don't you touch me.
Jake, don't touch that boy.
Who's that?
I heard it too.
Give me that lamp.
I heard it too, Jake.
Nobody's in here but us. Us and the kid. He got out.
No, I'm still here.
His voice. Ain't nobody with us.
I heard it too. Well, that's nothing, Jake. I'm always hearing voices. Now you're hearing them. We're both crazy.
Reckon it ain't so crazy a voice can scare me. I'm crazy like you, then voices ain't real. Now put this kid out of the way, and then I'll get the others.
No, stop. Please don't hit me with that stick.
No,
Put
Jake.
down that stick, Jake. Put it down.
Now, I ain't scared of voices that ain't real.
I said drop it.
long time, but I ain't never been hit by one.
You done it.
Oh, I did not. I wasn't near you.
Then it was the kid.
I never moved.
Well, then who?
I hit you, Jake. Now I'm going to give you a chance to save yourselves. Let this boy go. Bring the other boys here. I'll take them home.
No, they're mine. They're mine. They're Dickie. No.
I'll get rid of him my way.
Please help me. I want to go home.
Trust me, Dickie, there's only one thing for me to do now. Jake, this is your last chance.
What? Who's that? You reckon it's somebody looking for the kids? If it is...
Jake, it must be them. The Duke and Slim coming to hide out. Listen. Yeah, it's him. Oh, Jake, he'll kill us both if he knows about my baby.
Well, what he don't know won't hurt him. Shut the door to the kids' room and lock it.
Hurry up, Jake. Let him in. But don't say a word about my baby.
Don't worry.
No?
Maybe I'm crazy, too, but I ain't that crazy.
Well, what took you so long, Jake?
Hello, Duke.
Come in, Slim. Hurry up. Shut the door.
Okay, Duke. Yeah, what a dump this is. That's better than being in jail up north.
If we didn't have this hideout, that's where you'd be. Hello, old Sadie.
Come in, Duke. I'll slap you again.
Shut up. That half-witted old dame talks too much.
Hey, you staying for a while, Duke?
What's it to you?
I don't care.
Oh, lay off the guy, Slim. Jake, and you too, old Sadie.
Yeah?
We're taking a little rest away from the cops, see? Turn the dogs loose in the yard around the house so they can chew up anybody that comes here looking for us. Go on, Jake. Do it now.
All right, Duke.
Just a minute, Jake.
Who's that?
Somebody's in here, Duke.
It's the voice again, Jake. They can't hear it unless they're crazy, too.
That voice again.
Yes, Jake, that same voice. And the Duke can hear it, too. Can't you, Duke?
Say, what's going on here? Who is that?
I tell you, it's in here, Duke.
Who's playing tricks on me?
Duke, did you ever hear of the Shadow?
The Shadow?
I have, Duke. I know. That's the guy that talks to you, but you can't see him.
Shut up, you fool. Yeah, Shadow. I've heard about you. I never believed what I heard, though.
You can believe it now. Listen, Duke. I'm here for only one purpose. To save the lives of 4 little children.
Oh, don't believe him. It's a lie.
Shut up. I'm handling this. Go ahead, Shadow. Go ahead. Talk some more.
All right. Old Sadie and Jake there have put you in a tough spot.
How, Shadow?
Old Sadie is crazy. She's, well, shall we say, borrowed 4 little boys from places near here and made it appear that they were killed. Killed falling over a cliff.
It's a lie. They was killed. I killed them and my Dickie took their place.
Duke, the old dame is back.
Shut up.
Jake here is almost as crazy as his mother, but he wants to kill the boys.
Don't believe him, Duke.
Either way, you'll be arrested for kidnapping.
Hey, Duke, we don't want no part in kidnapping.
Well, Shadow, what's the
If
proposition?
you let me take the boys away back to their homes, you won't be accused of kidnapping.
And give you a chance to tip off the police to where we're hiding out? Oh, no. Let him have it, Slim.
Look, Duke, the door. He went out the door.
He's gone, Duke. He's gone. We can't get him now.
Oh, yes, we can.
How?
The dog. If the Shadow's a man, them dogs can follow his scent.
If the Shadow is a man, you mean the dogs will trail him by his scent, even though we can't see him?
He's right, Duke.
Well, we haven't got anything to give the dogs to smell, to give them the scent.
Maybe he left something in the kid's room. Let's go and see.
Yeah. Come on, let's see. Yeah, let's look around here.
He's too clever to have left anything behind.
Hey, where'd the boy get that handkerchief he's sniffling into?
Handkerchief, huh?
Yeah. He never had no handkerchief when he come here.
Who gave you this handkerchief, little boy?
A man.
What man?
A man who spoke to me in the dark.
You couldn't see him?
No. He said I had to believe he was here, although I couldn't see him.
Then it's the Shadow's
Get the dogs. Get the dogs. They can get his scent from that handkerchief and trail him. The Shadow can't escape this time.
The Shadow's adventure continues in just a moment. Meanwhile, I'd like to say a few words about a subject that's uppermost in everyone's mind these days: how to save money. Large savings in cooking and heating costs can be made by switching to blue coal. For blue coal is the perfect home fuel. It is the best grade of Pennsylvania anthracite. And anthracite is the fuel that furnaces, cooking stoves, and parlor heaters in New England were designed to use. Blue coal gives off a steady, clean heat. It lasts longer, and burns down to a fine powdery ash without giving off smoke or grime common to many other fuels. Blue coal's cleanliness will appeal to New England housewives. For housekeeping is greatly simplified when blue coal is used, because with this dependable fuel, you not only have a more comfortable home, but a cleaner house inside and out. These are the reasons why blue coal is so popular in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Sales in Pawtucket this winter are 12% ahead of sales for the same period a year ago. Here's another point. You buy American when buying blue coal. It is mined and prepared in Pennsylvania by the Glen Alden Coal Company, especially for home use. So for economy and cleanliness, start using blue coal tomorrow. Order it by name. Phone your nearest blue coal dealer. You'll find him listed in the Where to Buy It section of your classified telephone directory under the name Blue Coal.
Margot Lane. The children are alive. Alive in an old house about 4 miles off the Cliff Road. They're being held captive. There's no time to lose. I'm in the woods. A pack of hounds is trailing me. You can probably hear them. They've got my scent. Hurry. Get the sheriff. Save the children. Hurry.
Come on, Jake. Keep up in front where we can see you. Don't try to hide behind the trees. If you think you can sneak back to the house.
All right, Duke, all right.
Slim,
Yeah, Duke.
if Jake starts falling back again anymore, trying to lose us among the trees in the dark so he can get back to the house and finish off them kids, let him have it.
Okay, boss. I wasn't. Honest, I wasn't.
Okay. Then come on.
Hey, you, Jake. Ain't those dogs liable to turn on us? Yeah, if you was alone. Yeah, but I'm with you. You hear that, Duke? The dogs have got the shadow. It's lucky for us he left his handkerchief with the kids so the hounds could get the scent, ain't it, huh?
Yeah. Now, there's only one or two things for the shadow to do. Stand and be chewed by them beasts, or else climb a tree. He's not invisible to a dog's nose. They can smell him.
If he's climbed a tree, we got him, Duke. Hey, there's the dogs jumping on that tree. Right there. See him? Well, what do we do now?
Well, we can't do much while it's dark.
What do you mean?
I mean, we gotta keep the shadow treed until it's daylight.
Yeah, but you can't see him whether it's light or dark. That's right. Maybe he's beating us after all.
Listen, if we wait till daylight, then we can see where he is in the tree.
But you can't see where he is.
Yeah, but when he comes, he has to shake the branch he's sitting on. And when we see any of them leaves shaking, we'll shoot right at that place.
It'll be like shooting at nothing.
I know. Say, if we don't get him that way, he has two other things to choose from.
Yeah, what's that?
We can keep him treed until he gets so weak he can't work his invisibility gag anymore. And he comes down. And then the dogs get him.
Well, there's nothing to do but wait till morning then.
No, but we got to keep awake. Morning ain't far off. And then we'll see.
Hey, Duke. I got to thinking sitting here last night. What about them kids?
Well, Slim, what about them?
We didn't do it, but they can pin a kidnapping rap on us.
Not without evidence, Slim.
No, but she... Oh, I get it. No evidence, huh?
That's right.
No kids.
What do you think?
Yeah. Jake here don't want no evidence either.
As soon as we dispose of the man who calls himself the Shadow, no one will know.
And then Jake here gets rid of the kids.
That's right.
Yeah, but how about Jake and old Sadie?
I think they could disappear and not be missed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, Duke, look. We can see the whole tree now. But I don't see nobody.
No, of course not. But he's there. Now watch carefully, Slim. There's no wind. Any limb or branch that moves may be the Shadow.
Yeah.
So when something moves, let him have it.
I get it. Hey, but how do we know when we get him?
He'll come down, Slim. Now, you missed, Slim. Take your time.
Hey, what's that? I thought I saw a branch move. We're shooting at the Shadow, Jake.
And when he's unconscious or dead, we can see him all right. And then...
You didn't do so good yourself, Duke.
Those dogs are hungry.
Yeah. I bet they look nice from up in the tree, waiting for their breakfast. can you shoot him if you can't save him?
Shut up, Jake. Now, take your time, Slim.
Good morning, Duke.
He's there.
Good morning, Shadow.
I hope you slept well.
Oh, yeah. And you? Now, watch close, Slim.
Yeah.
Would it be too much for me to ask how are the little boys?
They're all right, Shadow. So far.
That's good.
Yeah, but I'll get rid of him.
Slim, get around the other side of the tree. I think he's low in the tree, behind the trunk.
Okay, Duke.
We're taking care of you first, Shadow. You know too much. Well, what's funny, Shadow?
I'm laughing at you, Duke.
Oh, yeah? You laugh different when I get my hands on you.
Why don't you come up here and try it?
I don't have to. You'll come down.
You have a long wait.
Oh, yeah?
Can't you say anything but oh, yeah? You're really quite stupid, Duke.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm smart enough to get you out of that tree.
Good. I was getting rather bored.
Ah, shut up. Hey, Slim, go back to the house and get an axe. This tree ain't too big to cut down.
Very ingenious.
Yeah, but the dogs. It ain't safe to leave without Jake. The dogs, they won't touch you. They're after the Shadow. And Jake will keep them here.
Sure. I'll keep him here, sure.
And hurry back, Slim.
Now, scram.
Okay, Duke. But don't let them dogs come after me.
Jake will keep the dogs here.
Okay, watch it.
Now, hurry back, Hey, Jake. Call the dogs off. They're going after Slim.
They don't like him.
Hey, call them back. Slim, look out. Jake, the dogs are attacking.
Yeah, they're going to eat him.
I'll shoot him, Slim.
Guess you didn't shoot him soon enough, Duke.
Well, Jake, your dogs got Slim. I'm afraid you've lost most of them.
Yeah. Ma'll be awful mad. There's only Big Tom left. But the Duke will shoot him.
No, he won't. His gun's empty. Look at him go up that tree.
Yeah. Big Tom didn't get him. Now you're both up in the tree, ain't you?
No, Jake, I'm standing right here behind you. Now do what I tell you. Go over to that tree and tie Big Tom to it. So that the Duke can't get down.
Why should I?
You want to get those kids out of the way, don't you? Duke won't let you.
Yeah. He won't, maybe. Yeah, he won't let me, maybe. I won't tell him what I'm going to do.
Jake, call off this dog. Tie him up, do you hear me? Tie him up. No, not to my tree, you dope. Take him away. Listen to me. Don't tie him there, you half-wit.
Well, Duke, we changed places.
I'll get you if it's the last thing I do, Shadow.
You're going to have plenty to do before we meet again. Jake, come back here.
Yeah.
You'll have plenty of time to think about that. Here are some men that may help you out.
Who are they?
My Lord, what happened here?
I don't know, Sheriff. Say, this is the hunchback, Jake. Hello, Jake.
Duke's up in the tree. Yeah, sit down, Sheriff.
I got him. Reckon that dog won't attack anyone else.
You killed him.
Now, if our friend will come down out of the tree, I'll be delighted to put a pair of handcuffs onto him. I've been looking for him and his partner for some time. From the looks of things, I won't need to put the cuffs on his partner.
Well, Margot, you better go back to the cars.
All right. Yes, I think I will. I only wanted to see if... Yes, I'll go back.
All right, men. Let's take him away.
Margot.
Oh, Lamont. Lamont, are you all right?
Yes, but don't speak my name here.
Darling, I was so frightened when I got your wireless message. I thought it was the end.
So did I. Are the boys all right?
Yes, all the boys are safe. They've been taken into town. The deputy sheriff took old Sadie along. Dickie Nelson is in one of the cars up the road waiting. Oh, Lamont, I feel so sorry for that poor old woman.
So do I, Margot. She's demented. We must see that she's placed in an institution, not a prison. A place where she can satisfy her mother-love mania with dolls instead of other people's children. Go to the car, Margot. I'll meet you there.
What are we waiting for, Miss Lane? I want to go home to my mother.
Just a minute, Dickie. I'm expecting someone.
Who?
Oh, here he comes now.
Hello, Margot.
Hello, Lamont.
Who's this young man?
This is Dickie Nelson. Dickie and Lamont Cranston.
Hello, Mr. Cranston.
Well, Dickie, I hear you had quite an adventure last night.
Yes. A kind man came to my room at that terrible house. But I couldn't see him.
Well, maybe you dreamt it, Dickie. Supposing we keep it a secret. Just between us three.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
All right. But it was a swell dream.
And here is John Barclay, Blue Coal's heating expert, with some interesting information for you.
Thank you, Ken Roberts. Good evening, friends. The health and comfort of your family during this period of widely varying temperatures depends to a great extent on whether your heating plant delivers steady, even heat when you need it. And the efficiency of your heating plant depends upon the proper use of furnace dampers. Here are some helpful hints on the proper use of these dampers. First, the turn or the smoke pipe damper should never be used for day-to-day control of heat. This damper should always be kept as nearly closed as possible without retarding the free burning of your fire. If you do not have automatic thermostat control of your furnace, the everyday control of heat should be left to your check damper, that flap-like damper located on your chimney pipe and the ash pipe damper. To get more heat through your house, close the check damper and open the ash pit damper. Always remember, when one is closed, the other should be open. If the house is warm enough, close the ash pit and open the check damper. The proper location of these dampers is important. The check damper should be between the chimney and turn damper, the latter being between the check damper and the furnace. If the dampers are in this position, they are properly placed. And if operated in the manner that I've just explained, you should not experience any trouble in maintaining an even temperature in all parts of your home. However, if you do have trouble with your furnace, phone your nearest Blue Coal dealer and ask him to send a John Barclay serviceman to your home. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barclay. And friends, take Mr. Barclay's tip. Phone your nearest Blue Coal dealer. Have him send a John Barclay serviceman to your home tomorrow. You have just heard a dramatized version of one of the many copyrighted stories which appear in the Shadow magazine. All the characters and all the places named are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
As you sow evil, so shall you reap evil. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows.
Next week, same time, same station, Blue Coal, America's finest anthracite, will again present another thrilling adventure of the Shadow. Be sure to listen. And be sure to burn Blue Coal, the solid fuel for solid comfort. Again, Blue Coal dealers present radio's strangest adventurer, The Shadow, mystery man who strikes terror into the very hearts of shopkeepers, lawbreakers, and criminals. Today, Blue Coal brings you The Shadow's latest adventure, The Plot Murder. In just a moment, The Shadow's exciting adventure will begin. Meanwhile, I have something important to tell all you homeowners. During this treacherous winter season, you can protect your family's health by burning Blue Coal. For Blue Coal's harmless blue coloring is your guarantee of clean, uniform, healthful heat all winter long. Blue Coal saves you money, too, for it burns steadily, completely, down to a fine, powdery ash. So next time you're buying fuel, ask for Blue Coal by name. It's Pennsylvania's finest anthracite. Order a trial ton from your nearest Blue Coal dealer tomorrow. An important announcement. Just before going on the air with today's adventure of the Shadow, we received a telegram from the American Police Review, presenting the Shadow with a special award. Be sure to hear this official presentation at the close of this program. And now, Blue Coal presents The Shadow in the Plot Murder.
Captain Hines, read the findings of this court-martial.
We find the accused, Lieutenant John Wilson, guilty of treasonable sabotage against the government.
No!
In that he willfully destroyed a secret device known as the flying torpedo, invented by one George Archelis and acquired exclusively for use by the government.
Has the prisoner anything to say before sentence is pronounced?
Yes.
Yes,
But what can he say? He admits he broke the mechanism on the demonstration torpedo.
Quiet, please, Professor Archelis. As the inventor, we understand your concern in this matter. But please don't interrupt. Well, Lieutenant Wilson?
I don't know, sir. I can hear all that's going on, but I went into the...
It's obvious, General Levitt, that Lieutenant Wilson is not mentally accountable.
He was sufficiently accountable to enter the testing shed by virtue of his authority as an Army lieutenant and to tamper with the flying torpedo and render it useless the very day it was to be demonstrated to the government. Read the sentence of the court.
Lieutenant Wilson, this court decides, subject to the approval of the President, that you will be dishonorably discharged from the service of your country and sentenced to imprisonment for the term of...
No!
He's got a revolver! Don't shoot! That's the man, Professor Archelis! He's wounded, Professor Archelis!
All the doctor, take Lieutenant Wilson back to his cell.
Lamont Cranston, I tell you, John Wilson can't be guilty. He just can't.
Why not, Margot? After all, traitorous army officers are not unknown to history.
Yes, but the peculiar way John Wilson talked on the stand makes me think there's something strange about the whole thing. He acted, well, almost like a man in a trance. Lamont, just what is this flying torpedo he's supposed to have tampered with?
That's what its name implies, a sort of aerial torpedo filled with high explosive flying under its own power. And once it's launched into the air, instead of flying a predetermined course, its direction can be guided by radio beams from an observation plane flying high above it.
Oh, I see.
Imagine its tremendous effectiveness in warfare, deadly accuracy in hitting even a fast-moving target like a troop train or a supply ship.
Sounds tremendously important. Who invented it?
This man Archelis, who was to have demonstrated last week at the proving grounds before a large delegation from the capital. Besides being members of the War Department, a great many high officials and other branches of government were to attend the test.
Well?
Since your friend Wilson gained access to the laboratory and put the flying torpedo out of commission, the test has been postponed until tomorrow.
And who is Archelis? Where did he come from?
He's famous foreign inventor. He's quite a reputation abroad.
Lamont, you don't suppose it's possible Archelis has the boy under some strong mental influence?
Possible.
They've got Wilson temporarily in the city jail. Won't you call on him as the Shadow?
Margot, do you honestly think that this case warrants my attention as the Shadow?
Lamont, I don't ask many favors, but I have a feeling John Wilson is innocent.
All right, Margot. If you're really serious. The Shadow will pay a call on John Wilson in the city jail.
Lieutenant Wilson is in that last cell, Professor Archelis.
Thank you, guard. This pass that General Levitt gave me. Do you take it or do I keep it?
And you better keep it, sir, in case you want to use it again.
Yes, that's right.
You'll have to talk to Wilson through the bars. No one's allowed in his cell.
Thank you. I have no desire to go in. I already have one arm in a sling due to the young man's temper. There's only one or two questions I want to ask him, then I'll leave.
Very well.
Well, who is it?
You! Archelis!
Don't get excited, Lieutenant Wilson. I only came to tell you that you're a much better mechanic than a marksman. Your bullet only injured my arm.
I'm only sorry I didn't
kill me. The only way you can break the spell I have of you, isn't it? To kill me.
Will somebody talk? Look in my eyes.
No.
Look.
No, I won't.
John Wilson, look in my eyes.
No!
Look in my eyes, Wilson. That's right. Now repeat after me. I destroyed the torpedo. I destroyed the torpedo. Say it.
I destroyed the torpedo.
Sabotage against my country.
Sabotage against my country.
I am guilty.
I am guilty.
Well, that is all you remember.
Are you sure that's all he remembers? Professor Arcalis?
Who said that? Guard. You are there?
No, not the guard, Professor. He's waiting at the end of the passage.
You hide somewhere. In the next cell, perhaps.
No, I'm here. In the shadows, Professor Arcalis. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Who are you?
The Shadow.
The Shadow?
Help me. Help me.
I am your friend, John Wilson. Think now. Concentrate. What is it you're trying to remember?
It's that torpedo. Dangerous.
Wilson, keep quiet.
Steady now. Think. Think. You can break through this spell.
I tried to make them understand that. I destroyed the torpedo
I
because...
command you to stop.
John, your friends believe in you. They're trying to help you.
Wilson, what have you committed?
Sabotage against my country. I am guilty. I am guilty.
So, Mr. Shadow, whoever you are, you see,
You have a powerful spell over the boy, Professor. But there is a way to break it.
what way, Shadow?
If you don't know, I have no intention of telling you. Yet. Margot Lane. Margot Lane, stand by. Arcalis has put Wilson under some strong mental influence, a sort of hypnotic telepathy. The boy's subconscious is dominated by the thoughts Arcalis plants there. We must weaken Arcalis' hold on Wilson's mind so we can find out if he's guilty or not. Stand ready for another call. Tonight I'm going to pay a surprise visit to Professor Arcalis at his hotel. I have a feeling that if we're not successful in getting Wilson to talk, this country of ours may suffer a terrible disaster.
Farah, lock the door. All right. Did anyone follow you here to the hotel?
No one, Professor Arcalis.
Good. The test will take place tomorrow?
Yes, at 3 o'clock. The War Department is so convinced your invention will render any nation possessing it invincible that the high command of both the Army and Navy are to be there to witness the test.
The president, too?
Yes, the President and the Vice President expect to attend, together with the Secretary of War and the Secretary of the Navy.
They've fallen into my trap. They'll be blown off the face of the earth just as I planned. I'll have to show you make a final inspection before the torpedo is taken out of the grounds and see that the steering mechanism is set.
I understand. But since I am your chief assistant, they might ask me to go along with them.
No, they won't. I'll fix that. Their bungling army mechanics think they understand the flying torpedo perfectly. So to satisfy their pride, I've let them take complete charge of the demonstration.
Good.
Don't worry, Barra.
And afterwards?
Afterwards, with the guiding brains of the nation wiped out at a single stroke, the country will be thrown into confusion, disorganized. So we'll have nothing to fear.
I see.
There are only two things that bother me slightly, though. Lieutenant Wilson, for one.
Wilson? Did he really discover the secret trick of the steering mechanism?
Yes, he knows what we intend to do and how we intend to do it.
You should have disposed of him at once.
I thought of that. I was afraid it would arouse suspicion. But I'll keep keeping Wilson under mental hypnotic control until it's too late for him to stop us.
Would it be better if he was dead?
Perhaps. I can still visit him at the prison.
And what is the other thing that bothers you, Professor?
Only a shadow bother. But I'm not quite sure of the extent of its power.
A shadow?
Don't worry. I think I can take care of it, too.
Listen. What is it?
I thought I heard footsteps outside in the hall. Go and look.
There's no one here. All is empty.
Must be my nerves. I'll be glad when this is all over.
Our escape is taken care of?
Yes, the freighter will be waiting for us at South Pier. But go now, Carl. And success to you.
Good night, Professor.
Good night, Barlow. The shadow. If I can't put my willpower against the shadow, then I deserve to lose. And I've never yet...
Good evening, Professor Archalis.
You? Shadow, you've come?
Yes, Professor. Why do you hold Lieutenant Wilson in the hypnotic cell, Professor?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We shall see. And now I have something else to tell you.
What?
Wilson knows something about you, Professor. And I'm going to find out what it is.
All right, Shadow. You know a little, but you'll never learn more from Wilson. No one can break the spell, not you, nor all your childish magic.
You forget. Greater magic, Archalis.
What?
Death.
Death?
Yes, it's on the way, Professor. But I can promise you this, if any blood is shed, it will be yours, not the Shadow's.
The second part of the Shadow's adventure will continue in just a moment. Meanwhile, here's some interesting information. Every day, more and more families throughout this area are saving money on their heating and cooking bills. These families are getting better and more economical heat than ever before with blue coal. Blue coal is anthracite. It is an American product mined by the Glen Alden Coal Company, who are deeply grateful for the purchases of blue coal by families throughout this area. Today, blue coal is the largest selling brand of home fuel in America because it is the only fuel that so satisfactorily combines all of the essentials necessary for perfect heating results. It is superior in quality, cleaner than most fuels, and economical because it burns long and steadily down to a fine powdery ash. Furthermore, there can be no substitution when ordering blue coal because it is the only solid fuel actually trademarked with a blue tint so that you can identify it at a glance. These are a few reasons why in Watertown, New York, blue coal sales this winter show a 29% increase over the same period a year ago. So take a tip from Watertown, New York families. Order blue coal by name. You will find the name of your nearest blue coal dealer listed in the Where to Buy It section of your classified telephone directory under the name Blue Coal.
But I tell you, General Levitt.
Excuse me, Colonel.
Go right ahead, General.
Hello? General Levitt speaking. Oh, yes. Good morning, Captain Hine. That's fine. You have the flying torpedo loaded and ready for the demonstration? Good. I'll expect a report. Sorry I can't be with you. Goodbye. Now, Cranston, to get back to this Lieutenant Wilson, I don't see what I can do.
But there may be some desperate plot at the bottom of this. Wilson acts as if he'd been put under some powerful hypnotic spell. He might know something about this flying torpedo that you ought to know.
For heaven's sake, Cranston, I haven't time to listen to any such drivel. I know you're a very agreeable young man, and you mean well, but you're letting your imagination run away with you. Now, if you don't mind, I must get ready to leave for the capital.
Very well. Just do me one favor, General Levitt. Might prove something to you.
Well, what is it?
Suggest to Professor Archalis that he be present with the other official visitors at the proving ground. The demonstration starts.
Well, of course, Professor Archalis will be there. Why shouldn't he be?
That's what I'd like to know. Unless I'm very much mistaken, General, Professor Archalis has made arrangements to be far, far away from the scene of his triumph.
George Cranston, I believe you know something.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, well?
There are two gentlemen here to see you, sir. Professor Archalis and another man.
Oh, all right. Show them in.
General Levitt will see you, General.
Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, General Levitt.
That's all right. This is Mr. Cranston, Professor Arcalis, and Mr. Barloff.
How do you do? How do you do? If you don't mind, Mr. Cranston, I'd like to speak to General Levitt alone.
Not at all. I'm sure you have weighty matters to discuss.
Good day, gentlemen.
Thanks, Cranston. Goodbye. Oh, orderly.
Yes, General Levitt.
Is my luggage ready?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Then take the next train. There's one leaving in 20 minutes. Can you make it?
Yes, sir, if I go now, sir.
Go ahead, then. I'll close the office. I'll meet you in the capital tomorrow.
Yes.
Well, what brings you here, Professor? Sit down, Mr. Barloff.
Thank you, sir. Barloff here has just returned from the proving ground, General. He supervised the loading of the torpedo early this morning.
Everything was all right, I hope?
Perfect. Your army mechanics seem very proud they're going to handle the torpedo by themselves. Of course, we'll be anxious to know how it comes out.
Oh, aren't you going to be at the demonstration, Professor Arcalis?
I'm afraid not, sir. Another engagement, unfortunately, prevents my attending.
Oh, yes, I see. But I can't understand how anything could be more important to you than seeing your own invention demonstrated before the highest officials of our government.
I admit I'm terribly disappointed, General. However, I've left instructions for a telephone message to be sent to me at my hotel the minute the demonstration is over.
Professor, I'm not sure that this test should be made without your being there.
What do you mean?
Suppose I order you to go.
But no, that's impossible.
Why impossible, Mr.
You
Barloff?
must excuse Barloff, General Levitt. He is a little excited.
Excited? What about? Look here, Professor Arcalis. Why don't you want to go to the proving ground?
Must I repeat my previous statement?
This stalling and hedging is very suspicious. By George, you'll go whether you want to or not.
Don't touch that phone. Barloff, be careful.
You can't give me orders in my own office.
You hit him too hard, Barloff. His head was bleeding. He struck the desk when he fell. Yeah, drag him in his closet near the door.
He knows something, Professor.
Yes, he full suspects something, but how?
And we've got to act quickly.
I wonder if Lieutenant Wilson has talked.
But you said he's still under your hypnotic spell.
Perhaps it would be better if Lieutenant Wilson died.
Yes. You're going to murder him?
No, I'll merely suggest that he kill himself. Oh, Barloff, if you'll tie up the general...
Professor, look at him.
What?
General Levitt is dead.
Well, here's General Levitt's office, Margot.
No one seems to be here, Lamont.
Well, that's odd. General was here less than an hour ago. General! General Levitt.
Look, here on the corner of the desk.
Blood. Word to Commissioner Weston at once. Tell him something has happened to General Levitt.
Yes, anything else?
Yes, tell him to send a squad of men to South Pier. I overheard Professor Arcalis and Barloff talking about meeting on a freighter there.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the jail. I'm going to make one more desperate attempt to get John Wilson to talk. We've got to find out what this is all about before it's too late.
You want me to wait here at the jail, Professor Arcalis?
No, go down to South Pier, Barloff. I want to be alone with Lieutenant Wilson.
Yes.
I'll follow after I've taken care of him.
All right. But first, I'll collect the baggage.
But you remember only this, Lieutenant Wilson. See always my eyes in front of you.
Yes.
You will forever do what I tell you to.
Stop! Leave me alone.
No, never. Look, Wilson. See what I have? A knife. Here. Take it. Now listen to me. You are disgraced. Your family disgraced. You have nothing more to live for. Say it.
I have nothing more to live for. I have nothing more to live for.
Then draw the knife across your wrists. It's easy. Try it.
Stop, John. Don't do it.
Shadow! He's trying to make me...
Keep away from me, Wilson.
I've got you
Let
by
go
the
of me,
arm,
Wilson.
Arcalis. Did you feel the knife yourself? Yes, you cut me, you fool.
Your blood is being shed, Professor. Remember what I told you?
Let me out of here. Let me out.
He's gone, John.
Something's happened to me. I feel like I can talk now.
Then talk. Tell me what you know. Arcalis' spell is weakened.
I can't see you, and I don't know who you are, but you've got to help me. I first suspected Arcalis and his crowd when I saw that the steering mechanism of the flying torpedo had an extra attachment.
An extra attachment?
Yes, You see, the flying torpedo is supposed to be steered by radio beams from an accompanying plane. But this extra attachment I'm talking about would render the radio beams ineffective. In other words, the rudder is set so the torpedo will fly in a complete circle and come back and strike the point from which it was sent, like a boomerang.
If it does that in the demonstrations of today, it will wipe out all the important government officials.
Yes, that's their plan. Just as I made the discovery, Archelaus came into the workshop. I accused him, and he put me under this spell. I tried to talk, but I couldn't.
Never mind that. I'll get in touch with Commissioner Weston, have him go to the proving grounds. He can stop the test flight of this flying torpedo if he gets there soon enough.
What's the idea of having us wait around here at the South Pier? There don't seem to be anything stirring.
Who are the guys we're supposed to pick up?
Two boys by the name of Professor Archelaus and Barloff.
Foreigners, huh?
Yeah.
What are they going to do, make a getaway?
I don't know. Commissioner Weston just said to make sure we got them, that's all.
If it had been that important, don't you think the commissioner would have come down here himself?
Well, he was coming, but he got a last-minute call to go over the place where they're trying out that new flying torpedo.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. All these inventions.
Now, wait a minute. Somebody coming down the dock. Hey, you. Hey, stop where you are, I'll shoot. What's this all about?
Nothing.
Where are you going?
That is my business.
What's your name? Come on, what's your name?
Are you Barloff?
What is it to you?
Answer me. Are you Barloff?
Yes.
Well, that's all we wanted to know.
Come on.
What are you taking? I have done nothing. He's got a gun, Sergeant.
I'm sorry, Sergeant. I had to do it.
That's okay. This Archelaus will probably be along in a minute. Put this boy behind those boxes. We don't want Archelaus.
Hey, look out. Here comes another guy down the dock.
All right, quick. Behind this piling here. Come on.
Must be Archelaus.
Yeah, I guess. Professor Archelaus?
Who are you?
The police. They want to ask you what...
Well, you can't get me to talk. You'll never make
Look out, Sergeant. He's got a gun there.
Drop that gun.
You can't take me. The police can't touch me. You asked for it.
Oh, you nailed him, Sergeant. He get you?
Oh, I'm okay.
Here comes the parole. Must have heard the shots.
Oh, they didn't have time. Oh, Commissioner Weston?
Yes, Sergeant. So you got our man.
Yep.
Is he dead?
I don't think so, sir.
Well, Archelaus, maybe you'll talk.
I'll never talk.
Commissioner Weston.
Shadow, what are you doing here?
We can't waste time, Commissioner. Did you stop the test of the flying torpedo?
Yes, but...
Good. Commissioner, you've saved the lives of thousands of spectators. To say nothing of some of our highest government officials.
Then it was you.
Yes. Yes, I had a friend of mine call you. And now, Professor Archelaus, let's have the story. You haven't much time.
I know. I'm dying, Shadow.
It was a plot against our national defense, wasn't it?
It was.
Who employed you to do it?
That I won't tell you.
But Lieutenant Wilson is innocent.
Yes. Wilson is innocent.
Commissioner, you're a witness. Lieutenant Wilson is cleared.
Yes, Shadow.
And what about General Levitt?
Barloff killed him.
Where is Barloff?
We got him behind these boxes.
How did you know about General Levitt, Shadow?
We found blood on his desk. But this time the blood is yours, Archelaus.
Yes. Mine.
Well, Shadow, Archelaus is dead.
Yes, Commissioner. And you've been instrumental in averting a national calamity. Archelaus is dead. The innocence of Lieutenant Wilson has been proved. And the integrity of the men who protect our liberty is again vindicated.
And now, here is John Buckley, Blue Coal's heating expert, with helpful heating hints for you.
Thank you, Ken Roberts. Good evening, friends. I've received numerous letters from homeowners asking what they can do to prevent chimney loss, wasted heat that goes up the chimney instead of through the pipes of your heating system. It's really a simple matter to prevent this, and you will save money on your fuel bills, too. The next time you refuel the fire, move the handle of the turn damper, that plate-like damper inside the smoke pipe, 1/16 of an inch toward the closed upright position. Then, if the fire still burns too freely, close the turn damper another 1/16 of an inch. Repeat this operation until you've found the correct adjustment. Once you've found this ideal adjustment of the turn damper, mark the position on the smoke pipe with a piece of chalk or something that can be plainly seen. Then leave the damper set at that mark. Remember, the nearer the turn damper is set to a closed position, the smaller the chimney loss and the greater the volume of useful heat. If you follow the suggestions that I give you every Sunday on this program, they should enable you to heat your home with the utmost efficiency and economy. However, if you're experiencing trouble with your heating plant, call your nearest Blue Coal dealer and ask him to send a John Barclay trained serviceman to your home to inspect your furnace. This service is free to all Blue Coal customers. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barclay. And here's the official telegram advising of the award the American Police Review has made to the Shadow program. Quote, the American Police Review salutes the producers and sponsors of the Shadow for their contribution to the cause of better law enforcement. 13,000 police executives throughout the United States read the review. So our purpose is to help them find the best tools and methods to combat crime. The editors of the review have turned a critical ear toward the Shadow program for some time and are gratified to note that your presentation of police roles truly reflects the intelligence and character of the high type of police officer now found throughout the land. We therefore take pleasure in presenting to you the American Police Review Certificate of Award for Distinguished Service to the Cause of Better Law Enforcement. Signed, J. Norval Birch, editor of the American Police Review, Chicago, Illinois. And so, on behalf of Blue Coal dealers and of all those who assist in the weekly programs of the Shadow, we tender our thanks and appreciation to editor J. Norval Birch and the American Police Review for their splendid testimonial. You have just heard a dramatized version of one of the many copyrighted stories which appear in the Shadow magazine. All the characters and all the places named are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
As you sow evil, so shall you reap evil. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows.
Next week, same time, same station, Blue Coal, America's finest anthracite, will again present another thrilling adventure of the Shadow. Be sure to listen, and be sure to burn Blue Coal, the solid fuel for solid comfort. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. The solid fuel for solid comfort. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
The Shadow knows.
Again, Blue Coal dealers present radio's strangest adventurer, The Shadow. Mystery man who strikes terror into the very hearts of shopkeepers, lawbreakers, and criminals. Today, Blue Coal brings you The Shadow's latest adventure, The Bride of Death. The Shadow begins his exciting adventure in just a moment. Meanwhile, I'd like to make a suggestion to all you homeowners. To protect your family's health and save real money in the bargain, burn Blue Coal. For Blue Coal gives you uniform, helpful, economical heat all winter long. Its harmless blue coloring is your guarantee of better heat at less cost. So when you're buying fuel, insist on Blue Coal. It's Pennsylvania's finest hard coal. Order a trial ton from your nearest Blue Coal dealer tomorrow.
the money at this hour of the night.
May I come in?
Oh, all right.
I'm the Reverend Colby from the fishing village below. I want to see Mrs. Ackley.
She has retired. Come tomorrow.
I must see her tonight.
Why?
My daughter Isabel is here. She's Mrs. Ackley's companion, but I've come to take her home.
Ah, because Isabel, she does not wish to leave.
I've come to fetch her. I'm a man of the cloth, a man of peace. But I will not leave without her. Let me by.
Parker, Matar, visitor, stop him.
Yes, master, as you command. Let go of me. Take your hands off me, you heathen devils.
Put him out. Keep him out.
Wait.
Mrs. Ackley.
I will see him. How dare you break into my house this way, Reverend Colby?
Because I will not have my daughter stay in a house that harbors evildoers, Mrs. Ackley. There's talk in the village of heathen rites performed by this man who calls himself Prophet of the Ancient One. This man you've brought to a Christian place from some Asiatic sinkhole of the godless.
Be careful how you speak in the presence of the prophet.
You mean that man there?
Yes, Minister. I am the prophet.
Prophet? Where is my daughter Isabel? She is leaving this house on the cliff tonight.
Tell Reverend Colby she does not wish to go. Tell him, Mrs. Ackley.
Your daughter Isabel does not wish to go. Good night, Reverend Colby.
I do not believe you. Let me see her. Let her tell me herself.
She does not wish to see you. Get beyond the iron gates quickly, for in 5 minutes my servants will release my trained guardians.
I'm not afraid of that unholy pack of Black Panthers of yours.
They are dangerous, Minister. Trained in my native land. Trained to hunt and kill animals or men. Go now.
Very well. I'm going, but I'll be back. I'll be back.
Prophet, why do the panthers scream?
It is an omen of death.
Whose death? Tell me. The future is so plain to you. Tell me who is going to die.
I see the minister, Reverend Colby, standing in the pulpit of his church, turning the simple fishing folks against you, Mrs. Ackley.
Reverend Colby is going to die. But how?
The wrath of the Ancient One will strike him down with the voice of thunder and the tongue of fire.
This night, I went to Mrs. Ackley's house on the cliff to bring my own daughter Isabel Colby home. But I could not see her, could not speak to her. She is lost to me, and therefore let my own sorrow be a warning to those of you in this village whose sons and daughters may go to that house of the devil, to this man who dares desecrate the name of prophet. Now, let us offer a prayer for the mistress of Casamane. Though rich in worldly goods and worldly knowledge, and so long one of us, kindly and generous until of late, and now ailing in mind and spirit, who hath turned from God to follow the pathway of a disciple of Satan. Let us pray. We beseech thee, have mercy on this poor lost one who has strayed from the fold.
And so in the midst of those who perished with him, and whom he loved so well, we return the body of our beloved minister, Reverend Colby. Return him to the earth, ashes unto ashes, dust unto dust.
Well, here we are, Margot.
Yes, but where, Lamont? The fog's so thick I can't see a thing.
This is the little village where the Reverend Colby and 10 of his parishioners were killed by a mysterious explosion in his church.
Oh, that was horrible. But, Lamont, it happened days ago. What can we do?
Murder has been committed, Margot. Wholesale murder, and the killer or killers are still at large.
But according to the newspaper report...
Yes, I know. The paper said the authorities have been unable to uncover a possible motive. Investigation is hampered by the refusal of the fisher folk of this quaint little village to cooperate.
Perhaps they're afraid to talk, Lamont.
Yes, it's surprising what superstition can do.
What about this rich Mrs. Ackley you were talking about, Lamont? Where does she fit into the picture?
I don't know, Margot. All I know is that about 3 months ago she returned from the Far East with a man who calls himself the Prophet. This man claims to be the leader of a cult worshipping a deity known as the Ancient One.
Is there such a cult?
There was, but it was stamped out nearly 5 centuries ago because its ceremonies and rituals included human sacrifice.
Human sacrifice?
Yes.
Oh, how horrible. Then you think there is a connection between this so-called prophet, the destruction of this Christian church, and the murder of Reverend Colby?
Margot, I don't know. I'm going into that cottage down the road. There are some Christians.
I'll wait in the car. Oh, that awful foghorn. It gives me the creeps.
You'll be safe here, Margot, but don't get out of the car.
All right.
Now, Lamont Cranston and the Shadow are going to find out something more about this mystery of the house on the cliff.
Yes? Someone's at the door. Don't answer.
And why not, Martha? You think it's a ghost from the marshes or that devil from the cliff house? Who's there?
Don't open the door, Seth.
Stranger, I've lost my way in the fog.
Well, tell him there's but one road back to the mainland.
Leave this to me, Martha. Where are you heading for, stranger?
Can you tell me how to get to Mrs. Ackley's place, Casa Mane?
Yes, I could, but I won't.
Wait, don't close the door. I'd like to ask a few questions.
Questions, huh? Well, ask them, but I'll not warrant an answer to anybody going to that house.
You needn't be afraid of me.
I'm Captain Seth. 50 years I've sailed before the mast, and I'm not afeard of man, devil of the sea. Who be you?
I'll tell you this much, Captain Seth. I'm here to put an end to the thing that made your wife afraid to let you open this door.
I can't see you out there in the dark, but...
Seth.
Huh?
Those panthers. They've come down the village again.
What? Panthers? Whose are they?
The prophets. Step into the house, stranger. They'll tear a man to pieces. Well, what ails you, Martha?
The blue light. It's him coming in the gate. He always carries...
Well, let him come. Get in the house, stranger. Well, Martha, there's nobody here. Where's Falcon? He was here a second ago.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he'll run for it. Seth, what do you suppose that prophet fellow wants of us?
Get away from the door, Martha. I'll deal with him.
Good evening, my good captain.
Stop where you be. I'll not have the likes of you in my house.
A stranger came here. His car is down the road. The spirit of the Ancient One told me of his coming. Who was the stranger? Where has he gone?
To all your questions, I'll give you one answer. Get your howling beasts and your heathen godless self back to the house on the cliff, or I'll blow you to the very door of Hades.
No man threatens the prophet and lives.
Get out!
Very well, Captain. Since you will not tell me, I will find him. My servants are watching his car. We will find him.
He'll need all the unearthly powers you claim to find a man in this fog. Good night.
I'll find him. He can't be far away.
No. Not far away, but close to you. In the dark shadows and the swirling mist.
Who speaks?
I am looking for a man with blood on his hands. The blood of a minister and 10 innocent people he murdered.
Are you a man hiding in the fog?
Do not try so hard to pierce the fog. You cannot see me.
The shadow. A voice without physical presence. Only a voice. No, my friend. In my native India, such things are known. But not here.
The powers of mesmerism have spread beyond the gray monastic walls of the yogi priests. Modern science has advanced their ancient art.
Perhaps. But I am still stronger than you. Strong enough to do what I have set out to do.
And what is that?
I will not tell you, Shadow. And no one, not even you with your borrowed powers, shall stand in my way, for I am the prophet. Prophet of the Ancient One.
Master, the stranger, he does not return to the automobile, but the young woman is there waiting for him.
So, could it be, Shadow, that you are the stranger we seek, that your companion waits for you? Aka.
Yes, Master.
Go quickly, I will follow. Seize the girl. She will be useful to us. Very useful. If I cannot reach the Shadow, I can reach his companion.
Yes, Master. Macau and the Panthers watch her. She will not escape.
Do you hear, Shadow?
Yes, I hear.
Save her if you can. You say you are a man. If that is true, then my Panthers will smell you out whether they can see you or not. There's the car. Aka, seize the girl.
Macau and the girl. Macau.
Cover him up, you fools. Take her to the house on the cliff. We will keep her with Isabel Colby. She shall be tortured until she tells us what she knows.
At the beginning of this program, I made you a suggestion. To protect your family's health and save real money in the bargain, burn blue coal. Now, here's the reason for blue coal's superiority. This fine home fuel is selected Pennsylvania anthracite, an American product mined by the Glen Alden Coal Company. And anthracite supplies clean, uniform, healthful heat from cellar to attic, burned steadily, completely, down to a fine, powdery ash. So you see, anthracite combines all of the essentials necessary for perfect heating results. What's more, anthracite is the fuel that furnaces, parlor stoves, and cooking ranges in this part of the country were especially designed to burn. And the cream of all anthracite is blue coal. No wonder it is the largest selling brand of solid fuel in America. No wonder blue coal sales in Auburn, New York this winter show a 15% increase over sales for the same period a year ago. Blue coal is especially prepared for home use. Every carload is laboratory tested for purity and uniform size before shipment from the mine. And every piece of blue coal is trademarked with an unmistakable blue tint so that you can identify it at a glance. So when you're buying Auburn, New York homeowners, ask for blue coal by name. You can get it in 4 popular home sizes: egg, stove, chestnut, and pea. Order a trial ton from your nearest blue coal dealer tomorrow. You'll find him listed in the Where to Buy It section of your classified telephone directory under the name Blue Coal.
Why did the prophet's servants bring you here to Mrs. Astley's house?
I don't know. But who are you, and why are they keeping you locked up in this room?
Oh, I'm Isabel Colby. My father was Reverend Colby, the minister of the little fishing village down the cove. He's dead. They've murdered him.
Yes, I know. But you, why are you here?
I used to be Mrs. Astley's companion and secretary before she brought this man, the prophet, to the house. But now, that Hindu has some sort of hold over her mind. He calls her a high priestess, and she let him lock me up in here.
Oh, how terrible, Miss Colby. What is happening in this house to Mrs. Astley and to you?
I don't know. It has something to do with a ceremony that the prophet says he and Mrs. Astley must perform. The climax of some strange religious ritual they go through day after day in Mrs. Astley's private chapel. He's changed it into a place he calls the Temple of the Ancient One. This morning, he came here and said, I'm to be what he calls the bride of death. They're going to take me to that temple tonight.
Do you know why?
Yes. To kill me.
Oh, no.
Mrs. Astley, as the high priestess, is going to sacrifice me to that horrible deity they worship.
Don't give up hope, Isabel. There's still a chance we'll get out of this place, both of us.
Lamont, why don't you come before it's too late? Maybe this is...
Aka, unlock the door.
Don't take me. No.
Isabel Colby, the time has come. The high priestess is waiting to perform her ceremony in the temple of the ancient.
No.
Masawa. Yes, master. Take the girl Isabel to the shrine. Tell the high priestess to prepare the girl and herself for the wedding of death. Come. My master commands.
No. Get your hands off me, Colby.
See this strange girl.
Let go of me.
Yes, master. I kill her now. No. Masawa. Take the girl Isabel to the shrine. Wait there for me. Prepare the sacred fires. Purify the sword of the ancient one. The sacrificial altar is ready. And death is waiting for his bride. Yes, master.
No, you're going to murder me like you murdered my father.
Now, strange girl, I will deal with you.
No, Prophet. You will deal with me. The Shadow.
Thank heavens you've come.
You, the Shadow here? How? There are panthers chained at every door.
It was easy, Prophet.
Oh, I knew the Shadow would come. I knew he couldn't be far away.
No, you do know the Shadow. This slinking coward who fears to show himself, who hides himself in the shadows.
Shadow, the prophet is going to kill Reverend Colby's daughter. He's going to make Mrs. Ackley kill her in some fantastic ceremony.
Yes. In a few minutes she will be dead and you cannot stop it.
Clever scheme. You've numbed the failing mind of Mrs. Ackley with drugs. Me to do your will, sign a fortune over to you.
Your knowledge will not help you now, Shadow.
You plan to have Mrs. Ackley commit murder, turn her over to the police, blame her for the death of Reverend Colby, and with a fortune in your hands, discard your role of prophet and disappear.
You are clever, Shadow. Yes, that is my plan. It is a pity such a mind as yours will soon be lost to the world. Within an hour, after Mrs. Ackley has obligingly murdered the girl Isabel, this house will burn. A tank of gasoline in the cellar will explode. And this will be the funeral pyre of the Shadow and his beautiful young companion. But I must go now. They are waiting for me.
You are not going through that door. It is locked.
You lie. It is. Aka! Stop!
They cannot hear you. They're waiting for you in the temple, and I have the key to the door.
You are not too clever, Shadow. Give me the key to the door, or I shoot this girl.
Take that gun away from her head.
Throw the key upon that table, quick.
Don't give him the key. I'm not afraid of him.
I shall count to 3, Shadow. If I don't get the key, it's a pity. But this beautiful girl shall die. 1.
You wouldn't.
2. 3. You are wise, Shadow.
You fiendish devil. I'll show you the Shadow can do more than warn, threaten. Take that.
Oh, Lamont, are you all right?
Yes, but I'm afraid I knocked the prophet out cold. Margot, take that key. Get out of here. Down the hall. There's a door. Take the prophet's gun. Drive to that cottage I visited tonight. Get Captain Zest to call the villagers. Tell them they can help to avenge the murder of their friend.
What are you going to do? They may kill Isabel before I can get help.
Never mind. You hurry and get help.
All right, I'll go. I'll get Captain Zest to round up the people of the village, and then I'll come back.
Very well, Margot. I may need your help. Come back to this room.
I'll be back in a few minutes. Lamont.
Yes, Margot?
I saw Captain Zest. The people of the village are coming. He's calling them together.
I can't wait for him, Margot. Beyond that door, at the head of the stairs, Death is waiting for Isabel Colby. The prophet's followers are there awaiting his appearance.
But the prophet's still lying here unconscious on the floor.
Nevertheless, he will not disappoint them.
Lamont, I don't understand.
Margot, I'm going to ask you to do a very dangerous thing. I want you to put on the prophet's robe, cover your face with a hood, and walk in there as the prophet.
Very well. I'll do anything I can. You know that.
Do not show your face till you reach the altar. Don't speak. Keep close to Isabel Colby. Watch Mrs. Ackley and leave the rest to me.
Yes, Lamont. I understand. I'm ready.
Metanalo, Exilasi Calavara, Metanalo, Sadamos, O Ancient One,
vision of eternal life. Before thy altar the youthful maiden waits. Thy ancient sword, her spirit, to release unto thine own. Her blood is pledged, her soul is thine. Metanalo etilasi, calavara sadamor. All is in readiness, master.
Metawa, look. The hood covers the master's face. The hour has come for the ritual to begin.
See, master. The girl Isabel is lashed to the altar of the Ancient One. The sacred fires burn in the jeweled torches. All is in readiness, master. All as you have commanded. Metawa, bring Mrs. Ackley. Prepare her to make the sacrifice.
I am ready. Ready to do the will of the prophet. To plunge this sword into the girl's heart. But I am afraid. Liquid drugs to give me strength. Will to do the things you have told me I must do. If I am to be high priest to stay into the world.
Look, Metawa. It is plain. The master does not speak. Does not answer us. He goes to the shrine alone. Wait. He turns. He is lifting the hood of his robes. Akka, look. It is not the prophet. It is a beautiful girl. It is the strange girl. The one the master stayed below to...
What has happened to our master? Why do you wear the robes of the prophet?
Metawa, you have been tricked. The man you serve as a god is a rogue, a charlatan, a pagan.
That voice, Metawa. That is not the voice of the prophet. It is not the strange girl speaking. See, her lips have not moved.
No. It is the voice of the shadow.
The shadow. The master warned us to beware of the shadow, Akka. Metawa. The master must be dead. The shadow has killed him.
Prophet, the time has come. I must drive this sword into the heart of the bride of death. I will not fail.
Don't do it. They're tricking you, making you murder me. Then they'll kill you.
No.
They'll kill you.
No, I shall be a high priestess. I shall live forever like the prophet, like the Ancient One.
Mrs. Ackley! Mrs. Ackley! Drop that sword. Drop that sword, Mrs. Ackley. Drop it, I say.
Drop the sword. Yes, drop the sword. Oh.
Akka, look. This shadow has broken the master's power over this woman.
I am free now. Free of the spell. Oh, what have I done?
He is stronger than the master. We must escape. We must get away.
You will never get away. Never leave this house.
Akka! Metawa!
The prophet.
The girl wearing my robes. Throw your knives. Kill her. Kill her, I command you.
No. No, prophet. We obey you no more.
Obey me.
You trick us, make us kill. For you are the true prophet of the Ancient One.
You defy me. Stop! Drop the knife!
See, the blood runs in his veins. He tells us he cannot die. Now we shall see.
You fools. Now. Now the shadow will destroy you.
He is dead. The shadow spoke the truth, Metawa. He was not the true prophet. The true prophet of the Ancient One was blessed with life, everlasting.
You are right, Akka.
Quick, we must get away. Away from this shadow.
You cannot escape for long. Your sins will find you out.
Oh,
Isabel! Isabel!
Oh,
Will be your
you're
safe.
safe. Oh, thank you. But won't you tell me who you are?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I must remain anonymous until my work is finished. I will have to continue being known only as the Shadow.
Now here is John Barclay, Blue Coal's heating expert, with a few words of heating advice for you.
Thank you, Ken Roberts. Good evening, friends. During the month of March, when the weather is very changeable, a cold spell and a warm spell, some homeowners get the impression that they're economizing on fuel by putting only a little coal on the furnace fire during milder days. As a matter of fact, that is one of the surest ways to actually waste fuel. Shallow fires burn coal quickly, have a tendency to go out easily, can't deliver sufficient heat, and make repeated refueling necessary. The truly economical way to fire a furnace is to keep a deep fire bed at all times. It should always be up to a level with the bottom of the fire door. In mild weather, if you like, you can leave a little heavier layer of ash on the grates. This will keep the fire burning very slowly, yet keep enough coal burning to provide sufficient heat should the outside temperature drop suddenly. Let me impress you with this important point. After putting fresh coal on the fire, be sure to leave an exposed spot of live coals directly in front of your fire door. The hot spot will act as a pilot light and ignite the gases that come up from fresh coal. Allow these gases to become ignited before checking the fire. If you follow this method of firing throughout the changeable March weather, you will get the utmost in efficiency and economy from your furnace. However, if you still have difficulty in properly heating your home, call your nearest Blue Coal dealer and ask him to send a John Barclay serviceman to inspect your furnace. This service is free to Blue Coal customers. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barclay. And friends, don't fail to take advantage of the free John Barclay service. Phone your nearest Blue Coal dealer tomorrow. You have just heard a dramatized version of one of the many copyrighted stories which appear in the Shadow magazine. All the characters and all the places named are fictitious, and their similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
As you sow evil, so shall you reap evil. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows.
Next week, same time, same station, Blue Coal, America's finest anthracite, will again present another thrilling adventure of the Shadow. Be sure to listen, and be sure to burn Blue Coal, the solid fuel for solid comfort.
The Shadow knows.
Again, Blue Coal dealers present radio's strangest adventurer, the Shadow. Mystery man who strikes terror into the very hearts of shopsters, lawbreakers, and criminals. Today, Blue Coal brings you the Shadow's latest adventure, the White Legion. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, our last adventure with the Shadow for this season will begin. In the meantime, let's give a thought to the special heating problems of the spring season. Springtime means warm days, cool days, showers, and uneven temperatures that bring colds and sniffles. So guard against uncertain weather. Burn Blue Coal in your heating plant, for Blue Coal protects against varying temperatures. Its harmless blue color is your guarantee of steadier, more dependable heat at less cost. So when you're buying fuel, insist on Blue Coal, Pennsylvania's finest anthracite. Order a trial ton from your nearest Blue Coal dealer tomorrow. And listen for the Shadow's important message at the end of the program.
Smith, will you bring me those papers?
Yes, Mr. Devons.
Which one of you is William Devons?
Right here. What can I do for you?
We want you, Devons.
Huh? Drop that ledger and get your hat.
I've got you all covered. Stand up against the wall.
Oh, they've got masks on.
Let go of me. What do you mean barging into my office?
Go as you're told. The White Legion wants you, Devons, and we go in wherever we have business. Move.
Why, you...
Shut up. Now, the rest of you stand back. We're the White Legion, and Mr. Devons is going to learn a lesson he'll never forget. The prisoner, William Devons,
has confessed his part in a conspiracy against the sacred institutions of the White Legion. We give him to the All-High Commander.
Let the accused know his fate.
Have you anything to say, Devins?
I plead with you, don't kill me. I've got a wife and children.
Silence.
Please, let me go.
Give him another taste of the whip. That's better. Now secure the prisoner and stand him over the trap door.
Don't.
Open the trap.
Well, glad to find you in, Margot. And up. How about a little shopping with me this morning?
I'd love it, Lamont. But isn't 10 o'clock a trifle early for you?
Not this morning, at any rate. Already paid a call on Commissioner Weston on my way over. Poor man's up to his neck as usual.
What's the trouble now?
Well, he's got quite a few things on his mind, one of them being William Devons.
William Devons? Isn't he the chief of the Bureau of Market?
He was. But this morning his body was found far out at sea, bound hand and foot, and apparently thrown from a ship.
Oh.
Peculiarly atrocious murder.
Good heavens, Lamont. Any clues?
So far, none. Another thing bothering the commissioner is the matter of this White Legion.
The White Legion?
It's a band of men calling themselves Avengers of Injustice, who are taking the law into their own hands, terrorizing, assaulting, and abducting, often in broad daylight and in the most unexpected places.
Well, that's strange. I haven't seen anything about it in the papers.
So far, it's been kept out of the papers, but in spite of that, enough has gotten out so that demands are being made of Weston that something be done immediately.
Poor Commissioner Weston. He seems to have his hands full.
And on top of all that, young Alton Parker's life has been threatened. He's the assistant district attorney, you know.
His life threatened? Why?
Well, Parker's prosecuting the case against Red Collins, the gangster accused of killing Boss Houseman a couple of months ago, and the trial comes up this week. Oh, it's all sinister politics, I suppose. Weston seems to think the White Legion was mixed up in that, too.
Then the White Legion has some connection with politics?
It's possible. However, if we're going to start suspecting people, we could begin at the top of the City Hall crowd and go to the bottom. It's Weston's problem, not ours. Want to go shopping with me?
Why not? What are we going for?
Oh, a little exercise and a few shirts. Come along.
Linens and embroidery, the next aisle over, madam.
Look, darling, don't you think this airplane luggage is just the thing for our trip south?
Oh, it's nice, dear. But I can't seem to enthuse about this trip somehow, Alton. We've planned so many times before, and now this latest development. Oh, I'm terribly worried, dear.
Oh, now, please, Helen. District attorneys are always getting threatening letters. They don't mean a thing.
Yes, but...
And Mr. Lawrence promised just as soon as this Red Collins case is finished, I can pack up and go. We start trial tomorrow. It can't last more than a week.
I know. I'm sorry to be so spineless. Alton!
What's the matter, dear?
Those two men I saw when we came in the store, they're coming this way.
Helen, please don't
All
let your
right, Parker,
imagination...
there's a gun in my pocket. Shut up and come with us.
You keep your mouth shut, Mrs. Parker, and stand right here.
What are you trying to do?
The White Legion wants to ask you some questions, Parker.
Is that so? Well, take this.
Stop it! All right, stand back, all of you. This is an arrest.
Drag him out, Keith. Get back there. We're off.
He arrested somebody. Must be his wife. I think she's fainted. Look out, there she is.
Will you please clear the aisle, please?
Keep the aisle clear, please.
They put that guy in a car and drove off with him. The cop at the corner went after him.
Oh, will somebody please look after her? I'd better phone the police.
Yes, I'll take care of her.
She all right, Margot?
I think so, Lamont. Just fainted.
I beg your pardon. This must be her husband's briefcase. Papers scattered all over. I'll pick them up. Here,
Alton.
let me help you.
Alton. Oh, my husband. Save me.
There now.
Save me.
They've notified the police. Who is your husband?
He's the assistant district attorney, Alton Parker.
Alton Parker?
Those men who took them away. They're from the White Legion. I heard them say it. Oh, please do something.
Will you come to the first aid room, madam? They're sending over detectives.
Oh, yes. Please, I feel so weak.
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Parker. I'm Hartley Clays, owner and publisher of The Globe. Is this your husband's briefcase?
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
I'll be very glad to deliver it to the district attorney's office if you say so. There may be valuable papers, you know.
Oh, yes, if you will, please. Thank you, Mr. Craig.
Now, if you'll come right this way, please, Mrs. Parker.
Thanks.
Excuse me, Mr. Craze.
Oh, who are you?
My name is Mount Cranston.
Oh, well, what do you make of this?
If what she says is true, it's more of the White Legion's handiwork.
Oh, you think so?
I understand they were mixed up in the murder of Boss Houseman.
Oh, that's pure hearsay. There was no real evidence.
Still, Red Collins is going to trial for shooting Boss Houseman, and Alton Parker is slated to prosecute. It all hangs together, doesn't it?
Well, I suppose so. Anyway, I intend to take this matter up editorially in my paper this very afternoon. The Globe has kept away from the White Legion up to now. So much politics mixed up in it, you know.
Yes, I know.
Yes, but this is terrible. I'll see what Commissioner Weston is doing about it. Well, I must go along now.
Oh, wait, let me see. Is that paper on the floor out of this briefcase?
Yes? No. Seems to be nothing but a sales folder. Special today. White goods sale.
Oh, yes, I see. Well, I'll get this briefcase down to the district attorney's office. Glad to have met you, sir.
Very glad to have met you, Mr. Clays. Oh, there you are, Margot. Sure right now?
Yes, but suffering from shock, poor woman. Oh, this is an outrage, Lamont. You ought to do something. The shadow ought to do something.
I imagine you're right.
Where did you get those papers?
I think they fell out of Alton Parker's briefcase. They're rather important, I believe. You see the title on them?
Yes.
Evidence, the State versus Red Collins.
But why are you... Oh, I'm beginning to see it.
Yes. The shadow is doing something about the White Legion, Margot. And what's more, I expect to have a very busy afternoon.
The message from the commander, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got it, Mr. Clays. S-U-N-M-A-R-2011. There you are, sir. I'll put it on your desk.
Thank you. See who that is at the door.
Yes, sir.
Telegram, Mr. Clays.
Right here. I'll take it.
Thank you.
A telegram for you, Mr. Clays.
Telegram? Well, what can this mean? Oh, yes. Congratulations on your splendid editorial in this afternoon's Globe. It was almost convincing.
What?
Signed, The Shadow.
What? The Shadow?
Stop trembling, you fool.
But if the Shadow is after us...
We'll take care of the Shadow just as we take care of the rest of them. He can't bluff me.
Wait. The door's opening.
Pardon the intrusion, Mr. Clays.
Are you... Who is that? Who speaks?
I am the one they call the Shadow.
He's here. In this room.
I've heard of you and your tricks, Shadow. Where are you?
Here. In the shadows. But don't be alarmed because you can't see me. I've only come for a short visit, Mr. Clays.
Why honor me with your presence?
As a newspaper editor, I thought you might like to hear the news.
What news?
The White Legion is about to be exposed.
The White Legion? Exposed?
I presume you'll want to run an extra on that.
Why, yes, of course. I'm sure I'll be very pleased. The fair-minded citizens of this city and state can force an expose of that organization.
You sound like your own editorials, Mr. Clays.
If you're insinuating that I have some connection with the White Legion, you're very much mistaken.
I never insinuate, Mr. Clays. I simply wanted to keep you posted. The next time you hear my voice, Clays, be ready to run your extras. It will be the signal that the White Legion is doomed.
Before the Shadow continues its adventure, I want to give you a message from Blue Coal dealers throughout the country. As announced earlier, this is the final Shadow broadcast of the winter series. Blue Coal dealers take this opportunity to express their great appreciation for the many letters they have received praising these broadcasts. They are also deeply grateful to New England families who have favored Blue Coal with a volume of business which has created a sensation in the fuel industry in New England this winter. We are, of course, happy that so many families have learned through experience that Blue Coal, an American product, is Pennsylvania's finest anthracite. It is the best quality fuel that can be used. For not only is Blue Coal safe, clean, and convenient, it is economical, too. The Glen Alden Coal Company, who mine Blue Coal, have prepared it especially for home use. No wonder Blue Coal sales in New England have increased more than 28% this winter compared to the same period a year ago. You may be sure that the high standards of quality which have been responsible for this increase in business will be maintained at all times. So take a tip from Blue Coal families, and for better, more economical heat, switch to Blue Coal tomorrow. Ask for it by name. Order a trial ton from your nearest Blue Coal dealer. His name is listed in the Where to Buy It section of your classified telephone directory under the name Blue Coal.
Let me see those notes, Margot.
What makes you think Hartnett Clays is mixed up with this White Legion, Lamont?
A little deductive reasoning, Margot. I've noticed that since this White Legion stuff has broken the papers, Clay's paper, the Globe, has been deliberately playing it down.
Clay's editorial policy seems to be that the atrocities of the White Legion have been greatly exaggerated.
It does sound peculiar.
Exactly. Clay seemed rather confused when I appeared to him this afternoon as the Shadow. Well, this may clean up matters.
What have you got there?
It's a copy I made of a memorandum that was on Clay's desk.
Let's see. Oh, what in the world does it mean, these two words? Convocation Water Chapel. Then this string of letters and numbers. SUNMAR 2011. Doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does. SUN is Sunday. MAR is March.
Yes.
And then 20 and 11, Convocation Water Chapel, Sunday, March 20th at 11.
But that's today.
Yes, probably at 11 tonight. And I have an idea that the Water Chapel is the place where they're holding Alton Parker prisoner. We're going to find out. Bring the car and meet me in the block next to Clay's house at 8 o'clock, Margot.
Yes.
If Clay's is going to that meeting, we'll follow him. Slow down, Margot. You want to get too close to Hartley Clay's car.
This fog rolling in. We'll be lucky if we don't lose them entirely. Can you see their car through the field glasses, Lamont?
Yes, it's turned down that side road toward the bay. There's a small shack on the edge of the water. The fog's getting heavier. Makes it hard to see.
That shack must be the place they call the Water Chapel.
Yes. It's apparently right on the edge of the channel. It goes out to sea. You better stop here, Margot. Let's get out.
All right, Lamont. There's a small inlet here.
Yes.
We can see better now.
So that fog doesn't get any thicker. There's a motorboat tied up the wharf. 3 cars parked nearby. Wait. Clay's and the man with him are getting out. They're going toward the shack.
I don't see any light in the place.
Someone's opening the door. Yes, there's a figure dressed in a long white robe and a mask with a white cap on his head.
Oh.
They're going inside. Bloods, that fog is getting so thick I can't see the place any longer.
What are you going to do now?
Somehow I've got to get out there. And I'd just as soon not go by the front door.
Oh, look, Lamont. There's a rowboat lying in the inlet.
Good idea, Margaret. There seems to be only one oar, but I can paddle with that. This inlet apparently leads down into the channel.
Oh, Lamont, please be careful. There's a terrible current rushing out to sea, and in that fog you won't be able to see anything.
Oh, I'll be all right, but if you don't hear from me by 6 o'clock in the morning, get in touch with Commissioner Weston. Give him the location of this place and warn him to bring a few men with him.
Yes.
If I get what I expect, I won't need him.
What do you expect to get?
Enough evidence to wipe out the White Legion from top to bottom.
All right, Parker, get yourself ready to meet the judgment of the White Legion.
What judgment?
The judgment of death. I'll be back for you in a minute.
Judgment of death.
Alton Parker.
Who's that?
Quiet. I am the Shadow. I've come to help you.
The Shadow?
Keep your chin up and do what they tell you. We'll see this through. Careful.
Step out, Parker, and follow me.
This meeting of the comrades of the White Legion will come to order. First offender, present the accused.
The accused stands before you, All High Commander.
First recorder, the prisoner, Alton Parker, having committed acts against the order of the White Legion, acts that we consider detrimental to the good of our city, we have signed his order of punishment. With the consent of the comrades, we give him into your hands.
Let the accused know his fate.
Alton Parker, have you anything to say?
Yes, I have. I was to have prosecuted a murderer tomorrow, a man known as Red Collins, who by your help and instigation killed Al Hausman, your political rival. It's common knowledge that this White Legion of yours sides with the party in power at City Hall. And all your sanctimonious chatter about the good of our city doesn't fool anybody. Prosecuting criminals is my job. And if that prosecution endangers the lives and reputations of one political clique or another, it's no concern of mine.
Cut it short, Parker. You have 1 more minute.
I know why you're getting rid of me. Because your White Legion is mixed up in the worst scandal this state has ever known. And I know what that scandal is. If you, with your robes and masks, knew what that scandal is, you wouldn't be members of this gang. You'd ask your leaders what kind of money-grafting racket they're running. Ask him, the one that sits there on his mock throne.
Who tore off my mask? You fools, get back. Here it is, Commander. The strap broke. That's odd. I could have sworn I felt someone here.
Come to order, men. Stand the accused over the trap.
You are sentenced to die, Alton Parker.
You'll pay for this, all of you. There's a power beyond your reach that'll make you pay.
If you mean the shadow, when the time comes, we'll deal with the shadow in a way he won't forget.
Silence. Stand ready at the trap.
Give me that rope. I want to dispose of Mr. Parker myself. Ready?
The trap is ready.
Good. In another half hour, Alton Parker's body will be far at sea. The vengeance of the White Legion is now completed. We've called the Shadow's bluff.
Commissioner Weston speaking.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Oh, it's you, Shadow.
This morning they're bringing Red Collins to trial for the murder of Boss Houseman.
You think I don't know
Wait,
about...
Commissioner, this is urgent. When the trial starts, have a man stationed at each entrance to the courtroom. Don't let anyone in or out without your authority, and wait yourself by the main entrance. I think you'll have a surprise.
What's the idea? I'll do it if you tell me what...
I can't tell you anything more now, Commissioner, except this. If you don't do it, you'll regret it the rest of your life.
Well, I don't know what you're planning, but it better be good.
Oh, it'll be good, Commissioner. I'll promise you that. It'll be good.
Order in the court. Your Honor, I request that this man who calls himself Red Collins be reprimanded for his insults to me, the district attorney.
Proceed with the case, please.
Very well. Collins, who paid you to murder Boss Houseman?
Defense objects, Your Honor. Objection sustained.
All right, Your Honor. Perhaps you'll answer this question, Collins. Were you ever a member of the White Legion?
I was not. I told you that once before already.
Defense requests that the prosecutor stick to the case in hand. The murder of Al Houseman.
The case in hand, as the defense and everybody else knows, goes far beyond the prosecution of this gangster. I intend to prove, Your Honor, that this man Collins killed Al Houseman. But that Collins acted under the instructions of the notorious gang known as the White Legion. The same gang who caused the mysterious disappearance of my able assistant, Mr. Alton Parker.
Confine yourself to the case at hand. The district attorney seems to have some trouble doing that.
Yeah. Look at this note, Collins. Do you deny sending that to Houseman the day before he was killed?
Sure. I wrote the letter and sent it to him. I told you that once already, too.
Why? Why did you write him such a threatening letter?
To scare him into paying me the money he owed me. That's why. I told you that once, too.
Mr. Collins is lying.
Hey, who's that?
He can neither read nor write.
Who is speaking? I demand that he identify himself. Is there someone in this courtroom who wishes to be sworn as a witness? Where are you? Who are you?
I am the Shadow, Judge Rusko. I have some unsworn testimony that may interest you. The men who paid Red Collins to commit murder are in this room. They are the leaders of the White Legion. They have secretly milked the city treasury of over $10 million in the past 3 years. Their hands are red with blood.
I protest at this ridiculous procedure.
One of those men is sitting here in this courtroom. His name has been honored in the past. But he is a murderer.
Silence, I tell you. Who is it? Tell us who it is.
His name is Hartney Clays. A sanctimonious crusading editor who used his influence and position to learn the movements of the law and keep suspicion away from himself.
If there is any further disturbance, I will order the courtroom clear.
Judge Rusko.
Yes, Mr.
I
Clays?
insist this part be concluded. If this shadow accuses me, let him present evidence.
The evidence is ready.
Order. You are making a fuss of this court of justice, whoever you are. If you don't stop, I will suspend the hearing.
No.
Let the shadow talk.
Yes,
I have talked enough. I now call your attention to the young man who was just entering the door with Commissioner Weston.
Parker. It's Alton Parker.
It's Parker, the assistant district attorney that disappeared.
I demand the suspension of this trial.
No. This trial won't be suspended
until I present the evidence for conviction. You couldn't find that evidence, could you, Mr. Clays? It wasn't in my briefcase. Killing me wouldn't have destroyed it, because it's right here. After I was kidnapped in the store, these papers were sent to Commissioner Weston. Enough evidence to send Red Collins to the electric chair, to put an end forever to this murdering gang of hypocrites who call themselves the White Legion. I order the arrest of Hartley Clays. Commissioner Weston.
Right here, Mr. Parker. Stick out your hands, Clays.
You realize what you're doing?
Yes, I'm slipping a pair of handcuffs on you, mister. You'll be locked up and charged with the murder of William Devons, among others.
Go to it, Parker. Run out the rat. I relinquish the bench.
Just a moment, sir. Now I move a suspension for the presentment of new charges to the grand jury. Those charges will show that the city funds have been tampered with. They will name the 6 leaders of the White Legion, including its all-high commander, the brains and moving force of its murderous atrocities, the man who sits on the bench at this moment, Judge Matthew Rusco.
Here are all of you. The doors are guarded. Sergeant, have your man place Judge Rusco under arrest, and all 4 men at the defense table.
Right, sir. Quiet, please. Quiet. Quiet. There's one thing more. I want to pay this public tribute to the one who, more than any other, is responsible for this triumph of justice. The one who calls himself the Shadow.
My fellow citizens, I thank you. But let me remain a voice. A voice that wakes the guilty conscience, brings terror to the wrongdoer, and comfort to the oppressed. Know me only as the Shadow.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you John Barclay, Blue Coal's heating expert. But before we hear Mr. Barclay, we want to remind you that at the close of the program, the Shadow himself has an interesting message for you. Be sure to listen. And now, Mr. Barclay.
Thank you, Ken. And now a word about heating hot water this summer. Many listeners have had the experience of preparing to take a shower only to discover the hot water supply has been exhausted. Now, this condition should not exist in any home. There can always be an unlimited supply of hot water when you heat it with the efficient and up-to-date hot water tank heaters that manufacturers are turning out today. These heaters are still known in many communities as bucket-a-day or pot stoves. Their cost is trifling, even when installed with automatic draft regulators, which make their operation semi-automatic. They guarantee a generous supply of really hot water at a cost of about 1/3 present gas bills. I suggest that you ask your Blue Coal dealer about this hot water heating equipment. He'll be very glad to quote a price on the size best suited to your requirements.
Thank you, Mr. Barclay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that interesting message we promised you. The part of Lamont Cranston and the Shadow has been played by one of the most distinguished figures in the theater today, Mr. Orson Welles, famous for his production of Shakespeare in Modern Dress, a director of the Mercury Theater, producer of Broadway hits like Julius Caesar and The Shoemaker's Holiday. Mr. Welles, still a very young man, is making for himself a unique place in the field of dramatic art. We have been indeed fortunate in having Mr. Welles on our Shadow programs. But now I know all of you would like to hear a few words from Mr. Welles.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Words can hardly express my great enjoyment in doing this program for you. And now, before I leave you, I want to thank our sponsors, Blue Coal, for giving me the opportunity of doing this show. I want to thank our cast for the wonderful work they've done throughout our entire season. But above all, I want to thank you, our listeners, for your loyalty. We all hope you've enjoyed listening to the shows as much as we have playing them. You know, in the theater, we can see our audience. We're able to tell how well we're received by the applause we get. But unfortunately, we have no way of knowing how much you've enjoyed us over the air.
Wait, Orson, may I make a suggestion?
Why, certainly, Agnes Moorehead, or should I say Margot Lane.
There is a way. If you've enjoyed this program and would like to let Mr. Welles and all of us know about it, simply phone your nearest Blue Coal dealer and tell him so tomorrow morning. Tell him how much you've enjoyed the adventures of the Shadow.
A very fine idea, Agnes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, good night and goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. And let's all take Agnes Moorehead's suggestion and give the cast the volume of applause they deserve. Phone your nearest Blue Coal dealer tomorrow morning. Tell him how much you've enjoyed the adventures of the Shadow, and that you'd like the Shadow programs to resume again in the fall. You have just heard a dramatized version of one of the many copyrighted stories which appear in the Shadow magazine. All the characters and all the persons named are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
As you sow evil, so shall you reap evil. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows.
The Shadow, who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Years ago in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and mysterious secret, the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible Shadow belongs. Today's drama, A Gift of Murder. It is an evening in late December. A fine flurry of snow is just beginning to fall from the darkening sky as a smartly dressed young woman knocks on the heavy door of Gerald Covington's country estate.
Miss Eve. Surprised to see me, Baxter? Delighted to see you, miss, and I know your brother will be overjoyed. Come in, come in. Mr. Gerald was saying only last week that he hoped to get back from Europe in time for the party tonight.
Party? Did you say party?
Yes, miss.
A party here?
A little gathering in keeping with this glad season.
As I remember Gerald, he considers all seasons equally glum.
I know, miss, but this, you see, is in honor of your Aunt Frances.
In honor of Aunt Frances? Do you mean to tell me that Gerald is giving a party for Aunt Frances?
Indeed, miss.
Why, where is he?
In the drawing room, trimming the Christmas tree.
Trimming the... This I've got to see. Gerald!
Eva! What a happy surprise, I can't tell you.
A Christmas tree.
Yes, I did it all myself.
And presents.
For your Aunt Frances. Is it so strange, Eva, that I should want our aunt to have a lovely tree?
Yes.
My dear Aunt Frances is 72 years old. We may not have her with us long.
Darling, last year she was 71, which isn't precisely adolescent. And all she got for Christmas was a dozen handkerchiefs and a cold in her head.
Well, this year, things are somewhat different.
So I noticed. Last time I was in touch with this little family circle, you and Clyde hated Aunt Frances like death and taxes.
You may speak for our brother Clyde, but as for me, I've always adored the dear old soul.
Really?
Really. Shall I show you what I have for her?
Do.
Look, an antique music box, the sort of thing she loves, and in solid gold. Isn't it charming? Listen. God rest ye merry gentlemen.
Expensive item, I'd say.
I paid $500 for it, but nothing's too good for dear old Aunt Frances.
It isn't possible, is it, that Aunt Frances has come into money?
Well, that is...
She has.
Well, the truth is, an old admirer of hers, a Mr. Onslow Fraser, remembered her in his will.
How distinctly did he remember her, Gerald?
Quite distinctly, Eva. She's inheriting $1 million.
Oh. And when did you hear of this?
Only yesterday. Mr. Elcott,
Attorney, member of the firm of Elkhart and Devine in Boston, brought us the news.
Now I see it all. The tree, the presents, the party. You're competing with Clyde for Aunt Frances's affection.
I am only trying to brighten the end of her life.
You are only trying to become the chief beneficiary of her will.
Nonsense. I'm quite sure I will be a beneficiary, as you will either, though I doubt that Clyde will benefit very much, if at all.
Why not?
I'll tell you why not. It's amusing, really. Quite amusing. Day before yesterday, before Mr. Elkhart appeared, of course, Clyde was unfortunate enough to have written me a certain letter.
Letter?
A letter, my dear, suggesting that we put Aunt Frances in an old woman's home.
No.
Yes. I have the fatal bit of correspondence, keeping it carefully. And when Aunt Frances lays eyes on it, I shouldn't be surprised if she cuts Clyde out altogether.
And you're going to let her lay eyes on it, of course.
What do you think?
Does Clyde know you do?
Oh, my, yes. He's been on the phone for the past 2 days, begging and threatening my life by turns.
Clyde is not a man to let himself be pushed too far, Joe.
I'll risk his wrath. I must go upstairs and wrap the music box for Aunt Frances. If the guests arrive, you'll greet them for me, won't you?
Who's coming?
Principally the family. Clyde and our dear aunt. And possibly the lawyer, Mr. Elkhart.
Anyone else?
Just that young couple Aunt Frances is so fond of.
Mr. Cranston and Margot Lane.
Yes, she likes them. And it's my desire to please her, you know.
You bet I know.
I'll be down in a moment. Oh, indeed. This white piece of paper, I think, will be fitting. And the bright red ribbon for the holiday touch. Who's that? Oh, come in. I'll be finished with this wrapping in a moment. There, now, I think this makes a very charming little gift, don't you? I said, don't you? I
We're not too early, are we, Lamont?
Well, Aunt Frances said 7. It's 9:15 now.
Oh. The perfect night for a holiday party.
Perfect. Whirling snowflakes by special arrangement with the weatherman.
Just for Aunt Frances's sake.
Of course. What do you say we lend the scene the crowning touch of a Christmas carol before we make an entrance?
I'd be glad to try.
Very good, my lady. We shall fill the night with music. Of a sort. Me.
Me.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
What was that?
Sounds as if something has someone very much dismayed.
Lamont.
Ring the bell.
Baxter.
Explain, Mr. Cranston. What's the matter? You ought to have seen a ghost.
Not a ghost, sir. A corpse. Mr. Gerald has been murdered.
Gerald.
When did this happen? Not 5 minutes ago, sir. Mr. Gerald came up here to his study to wrap this music box. And the next thing we knew, the shot was fired.
Anyone else in the house beside you and Miss Eva?
No.
Yes.
What?
Mr. Clyde was here, miss. He rang the bell just after Mr. Gerald went upstairs.
Where did he go?
He pushed me aside and followed Mr. Gerald to his study.
Look at this in the ashtray.
A cigar.
Still warm, too.
One of Mr. Clyde's brand.
Clyde murdered Gerald. No.
He looked angry, but when I tried to stop it, he said he had to see Mr. Gerald on a matter of great urgency.
What sort of matter?
Something about a letter.
A letter?
Yes, there was a letter. Gerald told me about it just before he came upstairs. It must have been somewhere in the study, probably the desk. He said he was keeping it to hold over Clyde's head. Yes, here it is.
I'm afraid I'm a little baffled.
It's only too simple. In this letter, Clyde suggested putting Aunt Frances in an old woman's home.
What? But Aunt Frances just inherited a fortune.
This letter was written day before yesterday. It wasn't until the next day that Mr. Elkhart appeared with the news about Onslow Fraser's will.
But it's perfectly obvious what happened, isn't it? Mr. Clyde killed Mr. Gerald to get the letter back.
But if he did, why didn't he take the letter with him?
It's probably because you two came running too quickly.
Yes. And not having gotten the letter, don't you think Clyde may still be somewhere in this house, waiting his chance?
If he is, I suggest Baxter be very careful.
Why, sir?
Because you know too much, and he knows you do.
You
think he just killed one man, hasn't he?
Listen. someone moving about downstairs. Clyde, what are you going to do, Lamont?
Don't worry, darling. Who's down there? Who is it? Answer me or I'll shoot.
You wouldn't shoot a defenseless old woman, would you? And so near Christmas Eve.
Aunt Frances.
Thank heavens.
Lamont, let's go down before she comes up and sees Gerald.
You go ahead, darling. I'll join you in a moment.
Hello, Aunt Frances.
Margot and Eva, dear little Eva, when did you get back, child?
Just today, Aunt Frances. Surprised to see me?
Surprised and happy. But then all the surprises I've gotten lately have been happy ones. Which reminds me, Miss Lane, Miss Covington, this is Miss Elcott of Elcott and DeVries.
How do you do?
Charmed, Miss Lane.
You're the lawyer who brought the news about Onslow Fraser's will, aren't you?
One and the same, Miss Covington. And happy I was to bear such tidings just at this joyful season.
I should say. Speaking of this joyful season, isn't there something in the drawing room that Aunt Frances should see, Eva?
There certainly is.
What?
Now, you're not to ask questions. Just stand where you are.
Mercy me.
Now then, Margot, open the door.
Merry Christmas, Aunt Frances.
For me,
All for you.
A lovely tree. Indeed, a very lovely tree.
it's so beautiful. It's really so beautiful.
Now then, my dear.
It's been so long since I had a real Christmas. I've forgotten how wonderful it can be.
Yes, one does forget how wonderful things can be. You rang for me, Miss Eva?
Yes, Baxter. Merry Christmas, Baxter.
The same to you, Aunt Frances. Let's have the eggnogs now, Miss Eva.
I can't think of a better time.
Shouldn't we wait for Gerald?
Oh, I don't think so, Aunt Frances.
And Clyde. Where's Clyde?
Right here, Aunt Frances.
Clyde!
You don't think I'd miss your party, do you? Merry Christmas, Aunt Frances. And may you wear these for many, many happy years to come.
For me, Clyde?
For you.
Oh, pearls. A choker of perfectly matched pearls. Miss Elcott, look.
Exquisite. Really exquisite.
You must have spent a fortune on these, Clyde. And I haven't a thing for you.
That doesn't matter, Aunt Frances.
Oh, but it does. I'm rich now, you know, and I insist that you tell me exactly what you like for Christmas.
I'd like you to be well and happy.
Oh, that's very sweet. But isn't there something you'd really like to have?
I think I can tell you what Clyde would really like to have, Aunt Frances.
What's that, Eva?
A letter.
Miss Eva, just what are you talking about, Eva?
A letter, Clyde. A letter that you wrote Gerald day before yesterday.
I never wrote Gerald a letter.
Oh, no? How peculiar. And I have it right here, signed by you.
May I see that?
No, you may not.
May I see that, Eva?
You may not,
May I see
Clyde.
it now, Eva?
Oh,
Mr. Covington.
He's got a gun.
Hand it over. Come on. Give it to me. Thank you.
Clyde, what's the meaning of this?
There's no time to explain just now, Aunt Frances. I must go. However, I beg you not to believe any of the poisonous lies these people may tell you about me behind my back. I want you to know that I do wish you the very merry...
Drop that phone. Don't throw on me. Drop it. Drop it. Pick up that gun, Baxter. Yes, sir. What do I do now,
Take Mr. Clyde up to the study and hold him there till the police arrive. Yes, that's right. There's been a murder, and we're holding the culprit under guard. Yes, I suggest you get here as fast as you can.
Are the police coming, Mr. Cranston?
Immediately, Mr. Elcott. I'm sorry I had to spoil your Christmas party like this, Aunt Frances.
Oh, Lamont, my dear, you had no choice.
Aunt Frances.
Yes, my dear?
We found this upstairs. Little remembrance that Gerald bought for you.
Oh, music, Bob.
And a very lovely one. Listen.
Oh, how charming. And look, it's gold.
Proper gift for a golden-haired lady.
What did you say, Mr. Elcott?
Why, Mr. Johnson!
Come on.
That came from the back of the house.
Clyde.
He's killed Baxter. Come on, Margot. Baxter! Baxter!
Baxter!
I'm all right, Miss Lane.
Oh.
Though I can't say as much for my prisoner.
Clyde.
He tried to escape, sir. So I was forced to shoot.
Tried to escape? How could he try to escape with you standing over him with a gun?
I don't know, sir. But he did. And since the two of us were all alone here, I'm afraid, Mr. Cranston, you will just have to take my word for it. Margot and Lamont heard the shot from the rear of the Covington mansion, they found Baxter standing over Clyde Covington, a smoking revolver in his hand. A few moments later, in the massive entrance foyer.
He killed Clyde deliberately, Lamont. I'm sure Baxter shot him in cold blood.
I rather agree with you, Margot.
But why?
Possibly because Clyde had an alibi. An alibi Baxter didn't want him to use. I mean that Clyde may have not come to this house at all early in the evening.
Not even to get the letter?
He wasn't the only person who might have been interested in getting that letter, Margot.
No?
No. Baxter could have used it nicely to hold over Clyde's head as long as Aunt Frances lived, bleeding him of a nice sum in the process.
I see what you mean. Then it may have been Baxter who killed Gerald, too.
I don't know. It's only a theory. Theory is worth a visit from the shadow.
What was that? Who's that laughing? Who's in this pantry?
It is I, Baxter.
Who spoke? There's nobody here.
Oh, yes, there is, Baxter. The shadow is here.
The shadow?
Standing right at your elbow. You can't see me, but I'm here. Here to see justice is done, Baxter.
What's happening to me? My mind is slipping.
I want the truth, Baxter.
Go away! Go away!
Not until you tell me why you killed Gerald Covington.
Leave me alone. Please, please. I didn't kill Mr. Gerald.
You can't lie your way out of murder.
I didn't kill him. That's not what I've lied about.
What have you lied about?
Nothing.
The truth?
I lied about him. About the man coming in before Mr. Gerald was killed.
Yes?
It wasn't Mr. Clyde.
No, then who was he?
Will you let me alone if I tell you?
Yes.
All right, then. It was...
Lamont, is Baxter going to be all right?
Yes, the bullet grazed his skull. He's unconscious, but he'll live. I left him in the library.
This case is getting more confusing every minute.
Yes, isn't it?
Take Mr. Elcott, for instance. I don't understand his position in this little mystery at all.
Well, what do you mean?
You remember what he said when I gave Aunt Frances the little gold music box?
Yes, he said a proper gift for a golden-haired lady.
Exactly. And how does he know Aunt Frances had golden hair? Her hair's been snow white for the past 20 years.
An interesting question.
And very confusing. It's all confusing.
Margot?
Yes?
Whose overcoat is this hanging in the hall tree?
Well, I don't know. If it isn't yours, it must be Mr. Elcott's.
Elcott?
Why?
I just saw this sticking out of the pocket.
Clyde's letter. Oh, what's it doing in his overcoat?
Must have grabbed it in the confusion. You know, it's just possible that our dignified old friend also saw the value in holding it over Clyde's head.
Of course. After all, what do we really know about it?
Not much. We're going to find out.
Operator.
I want to make a long-distance call to Boston, Massachusetts.
To what number, please?
Oh, I don't know the number. It's the law firm of Elcott, and
Juvine.
And Juvine.
Yes, sir. I will place the call and ring you back.
And make it fast, please.
Yes, sir.
What do you really think?
Time has come to stop thinking, Margot. We're on the verge of the kind of discovery that cracks the case wide open.
Yes.
Look, I want you to go into the drawing room. Elcott will be there.
Yes.
I'll tell you exactly what I want you to do. When you get in...
Come in, Miss Lane.
Where's Aunt Frances? Lying down upstairs. She's had more excitement than she can very well stand.
Sit down, Miss Lane.
Thank you.
Miss Eva and I were just saying that this case is becoming quite perplexing.
It is indeed. This attack on Baxter is the most puzzling thing of all. Now that Clyde is dead, who could have done it?
I don't know, but there's certainly no doubt that Clyde's guilty of Gerald's murder. Baxter saw him run up to Gerald's study just before Gerald was killed.
I'm afraid that's not true, Mr. Elcott. Baxter admitted he was lying about that just before he was wounded.
Is that so? But there's that cigar, the one that Miss Eva saw in the ashtray. Didn't that belong to Clyde?
Yes, Mr. Elcott, it did. It even had his initials on the band. Do you really think Clyde would have been foolish enough to leave a piece of evidence like that behind, Mr. Elcott?
Well, what are you suggesting, Miss Lane?
I'm suggesting that with Clyde out of the way, the margin of guilt is narrowed down pretty closely, Mr. Elcott.
To me, Miss Lane?
Yes.
But
to you.
I've been with Aunt Frances all afternoon. I was with her at the moment when Mr. Gerald was murdered.
Can you prove that?
Of course I can. Aunt Frances is right upstairs. You have my permission to ask her.
Then it wasn't you?
Obviously not. And obviously, Miss Lane, you can now draw the logical conclusion.
Yes. I'm afraid we can. Before you do, put up your hand.
Eva! Put that gun away.
I'm sorry, Mr. Elcott. I'm really quite sorry that you two, who aren't members of this greedy little family, had to stumble on the truth.
Do you think you'll get away with this?
I can try.
There's a very slim chance that you'll succeed.
For $1 million, I'll take a very slim chance.
The telephone.
Sit right where you are. I'll answer it. Hello?
Someone had just put in a call to the law firm in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes?
We checked very carefully, miss. There's no such firm listed.
What?
There is no firm of Elkhart, and Duveen.
What's the matter?
Who are you, Elkhart?
I'm almost sorry for you, Miss Eva.
There is no firm of Elkhart, and Duveen.
I know. And there's no $1 million.
What? But you came here about Onslow Fraser's will.
And Onslow Fraser never made a will. In fact, Onslow Fraser isn't even dead.
What?
Although just at this moment he almost wishes he were.
Then you...
Yes, I'm Fraser.
Oh, I think I begin to see.
I fell in love with Aunt Frances years ago, when she was as young as you are tonight, Miss Lane. And I never fell out of love with her.
Why did you have to pretend to us that she was inheriting $1 million? Why?
Because I knew how dismally you and Clyde and Gerald had treated her. I had no money to help her with myself. And then the idea came to me, I could make it appear that she'd become an heiress. And then depend on your greed and deceit to provide her with at least one really Merry Christmas.
A very sweet idea, but
a very dismal failure, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid so, too. I'm afraid there'll still have to be 2 more murders before the party's over.
Eva!
There may not be $1 million, but I still have my life to think of.
Don't you realize the police are on their way?
But they're not here yet, and I have a gun, and the door is open.
What was that?
Who closed that door?
I did, Eva. The door is no longer open.
Who are you?
I am the Shadow.
What are you doing here?
I've come to accuse Eva Covington of the murder of her brother Gerald.
It's a lie. A lie. You can't prove it.
I can prove you contrived a neat little plot to murder Gerald and convince the world that Clyde had murdered him for an incriminating letter.
No.
You took Baxter in on your plan, promising him a part of the $1 million you hoped to get. That's why Baxter killed Clyde when he realized he could easily alibi his way out of the charge.
How do you know all this?
The Shadow knows. When I confronted Baxter, who was about to get the truth out of him, it was you who shot him to save your own skin.
And I still have a skin to save. Either you open that door or I pull this trigger.
Don't be a fool.
I warned you. Let him.
Drop that gun. Drop it. Drop it.
Let me go. Let me go.
As you please, Miss Eva.
She's going out of the window.
Yes, Mr. Elcott. Straight into the arms of the police.
Found a letter in your overcoat, and I thought you were the murderer, Mr. Elkhart.
I picked it up and hidden it so that Aunt Frances wouldn't see it, Miss Lane. Here she comes. Frances.
Yes?
I want you to know how sorry I am.
Sorry? Why?
I've made a tragic mistake. The gift of Christmas that I tried to give you turned out to be a gift of murder.
Not really, Onslow.
But Clyde and Gerald are dead.
It was their own greed and ruthlessness that brought about their death.
And besides, the world's better off without either of them.
Much better.
Nevertheless, I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be. You've made me very rich.
But the $1 million wasn't real, Frances.
Oh, it isn't the million that's made me rich. It's your kindness and remembrance and the love of your heart. That's real, isn't it?
Yes.
Then, Onslow.
My dear?
Must you take that back?
Frances, you mean
I'm alone. And so are you.
My darling.
Well, what do you know? It looks like it'll be a Merry Christmas after all.
With many more to come.
And that's The Shadow, starring Brett Morrison in A Gift of Murder, as originally broadcast December 21st, 1947.
Once again, the thrilling adventures of the Shadow, the hard and relentless fight of one man against the forces of evil. These dramatizations are designed to demonstrate forcibly to old and young alike that crime does not pay. The Shadow in a moment. At first, motorists look out when it's dark out. National Safety Council records show that dusk to dawn hours have only 1/3 of the traffic, but 2/3 of the fatal accidents. So heed such nighttime precautions as these. Lower your headlight beam when meeting another vehicle, whether or not the other driver dims his light. It's safer for you if one driver can see, even if it's the other guy. Drive at such a speed that you'll be able to stop within the distance your headlight beam reaches. Don't be in the dark about safety. In the dead of light, be alive, be bright. Help cut night traffic accidents down. And now, to the Shadow.
The Shadow, who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Years ago in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and mysterious secret: the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible Shadow belongs. Today's drama, A Mask for Murder. The dignified man in the blue pin-striped suit stops before the door at the end of the dim-lit hallway. He stands there for a moment, looking around him nervously. Then he knocks. The door opens, and the man peers into a dead, dark room. Then suddenly, from the black recess of the room, a beam of white light stabs blindingly into his face.
You're late, Gardner.
I couldn't make up my mind. I wasn't quite sure if I should go through with it.
You're sure now?
Yes.
Come in. Close the door.
That light in my face. I can't see you.
That's the idea, Gardner. I see you. You don't see me. That's the way I run my business. Sit down. Price is $500.
Yes. So you said on the phone. First, I'd like to know something, Diano.
About what?
How you go about it. How you operate.
I use a 38. One shot.
If you miss?
I don't. I follow them wherever they go. I don't let up. When I got them where I want them, then I don't miss.
What if they should ask you for mercy?
They don't know what's coming. They don't even know what I look like, any more than you do, Gun.
I see.
Who do you want to get? Where and when do I pick him up?
You may begin tomorrow night. He leaves his office every evening on about 6. It's in the Exchange Building.
Exchange Building. Tomorrow. 6. How am I gonna spot it? What does he look like?
Like me.
Huh?
You're looking at him right now, Diano.
What? Is this a gag or something?
No, Diano. It's no gag. I want to die. I'm hiring you to kill me.
But the hairdresser... Well...
Now, look, Margot, before you start getting any wrong ideas.
Wrong ideas? Really?
If you'll only let me explain, I'm sure I can make you understand.
There's nothing to explain. It's all quite simple.
Margot, you know what?
What?
You're jealous.
Jealous? Me?
Believe it or not, I was sitting in the car minding my own business, and just a few seconds before you came up, this young woman got into the car.
Mr. Cranston drove off just as I arrived at his house. I followed him here.
This is Mrs. Garner, Margot. She's in considerable trouble.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm afraid it's very serious. Serious? Yes.
You can tell us all about it on the way over to your home. Your husband's at your apartment now, isn't he?
Yes. Oh, I'm so worried. I had no idea that Frank was in such business difficulties.
And the difficulties have something to do with his life being in danger, Mrs. Garner?
He felt that he couldn't face public embarrassment. So he hired a professional gunman named Diano to kill him.
He paid to have himself murdered?
Yes. He just told me about it this afternoon. Now he sees how wrong it was. Now he wants to live. That's why I've come to you, Mr. Cranston. Oh, please, we'll have to hurry. It's long past 6. Every second counts.
But, Mrs. Garner...
Mr. Cranston, before it's too late, Diano was hired to kill Frank any time after 6 o'clock tonight. Frank's nowhere in the apartment.
You said he'd be waiting here for us.
He's dead. Frank's dead.
Now, Mrs. Garner, you mustn't think anything like that.
He wouldn't know him any more than a passerby.
Come on.
What?
Behind you on the terrace, a man.
Well, stand where you are.
Frank. Oh, Frank, darling, you're all right. Oh.
Vera, who are these people?
You can put the gun away, Frank. This is Miss Lane, and this is Mr. Cranston.
Oh, Cranston, thank heavens. You might show your gratitude, Mr. Gardner, in a more concrete form by putting that automatic away, as your wife suggested.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the gun, of course.
Frank, what happened? Where have you been?
In the streets. I don't know for how long. Seemed like hours.
Why didn't you wait here?
Diano came here.
Oh.
I saw his shadow move out on the terrace. I was almost out of my mind. I ran through the streets. I couldn't see him, but I could hear his footsteps behind me. I didn't know what to do, where to go. I ran down side streets and through back alleys. I finally shook him off. But he'll find me again. I know he will.
Oh, Frank.
There was only one sure place for Mr. Garner to hide until Diano's captured.
I think I have just the spot we need for Mr. Gardner.
He won't be able to get to me, Mr. Cranston, eh?
That's right, Mr. Now, look here. Placed your own life in danger. It wasn't very brave, and it wasn't very wise of you. Your wife asked me to help you, and that's just what I'm doing.
Sorry, Cranston. Right.
Stay in jail until I notify you. Mr. Garner, be down the street.
Right, Mr. Cranston. And thank you again.
Hello?
Mr. Cranston, this is Mrs. Garner.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Garner.
May I speak to Frank, please?
What?
Isn't he there?
Here, of course not. Your husband's in jail. You know that. I had him put there last night.
Then it's happened. Diano.
What are you talking about?
I'm at the jail now. I came to visit Frank this morning, and he's not here.
That?
They said he was bailed out less than an hour ago.
Seeley, he's the one. Come on.
Afternoon, folks.
Hey, Mr. Seeley?
That's who I am, Mr. Willie Seeley. What can I do for you?
I think you can help us.
We're interested in a bail bond.
Then you come to the right place, folks. Just like it says in the door, bail furnished at reasonable rates. Honest Willie Seeley, I'm known as in the trade. Yep, honest, and a mouth closed tight in the miser's fist. Everything done here on a confidential basis. Here, sit down, folks. Lady can sit in the rocks, nice comfortable.
We won't bother sitting, thank you.
Okay, mister, okay. Fair service you want, huh? Get it done, get out, that it? Okay, how much bond for?
$500.
$500, okay, we'll fix up the papers. Who you want sprung?
A man named Frank Garner.
What'd you say?
Frank Garner.
Garner. I sprung a guy named Frank Garner this morning.
I know you did, Seeley. That's why we're here. I want to know who supplied the money for that bond.
Look, mister, this ain't no information bureau. Like I said, I run my business on a confidential basis. Now, you two, go on, beat the blow.
After I get what I came for.
Hey, let go, will you? Let go.
I don't want to hurt you, Seeley. That's enough to make you talk.
I run a legitimate business, like I told you. Honest Willie Seeley.
Who put up the money for that bond, Seeley?
I can't tell you, mister, honest. I promise.
Now, perhaps the police can find to make you break that promise.
The cops?
Take your choice, Seeley. Me or the police.
Okay, mister, okay. I got it right here in my book. Yeah, here it is. The address the guy gave me was 321 Elm Street.
Maybe Frank Garner's at that address now.
Soon find out, Margot. All right, Seeley, now, the name of the man who put up the bail money.
Sure. It's right here in the book where he signed it. Yeah. Lamont Cranston. That's what the guy signed.
Yes, what is...
Hello.
Who are you?
You don't know the face. The voice. You remember the voice, don't you, Garner?
Diana.
That's right. Diana.
How did you get here?
I told you, Garner, I get around.
Diana, wait, please. Put that gun away.
You're a tough guy to keep up.
Diana, listen to me. It's not supposed to be like this. It's all a mistake.
In my business, no mistake.
I don't want to die. I changed my mind.
A deal's a deal. That's the way I run my business.
You don't understand. I can explain. Diana, please. Please, for heaven's sake, don't.
I told you I was going to use only one shotgun. But I gave you a special bargain. I gave you your money's worth.
Between now and Election Day, give a lot of thought to the men you're going to vote for. Too many of us take for granted our right to vote. Either we don't vote at all, or maybe we vote without giving much thought to the men we put in power. And it's wrong. It's all wrong. For we should be concerned as to whether we end up naked or clothed, fed or starved, deceived or trusted, protected or destroyed. Remember, our right to vote is one of our American freedoms. It's up to you and to me, to all of us, to guard it carefully. For freedom is everybody's job. So be sure to vote and think well about the issues you're voting on. Now to the shadow.
When Frank Garner, who had hired a gunman to take his life, was mysteriously bailed out of jail, Lamont and Margot began a search for him. The search ended with the discovery of Garner's bullet-riddled body. Now we find Lamont and Margot with Mrs. Garner in the bleak identification room of the city morgue.
All right, Margot, bring Mrs. Garner over here.
Please, Miss Hank. I can't. I just can't go through it. I know how you feel, Mrs. Garner. It isn't easy. But it's necessary. You'll have to identify the body. It'll just take a moment. Come along. All right. Frank. Oh, Frank. Frank.
It's only a formal question, Mrs. Garner. For the police record, do you positively identify this body as that of your husband, Frank Garner?
Yes. Frank.
That'll be all, Mrs. Garner. Margaret will take you to the car.
Thank you. I'm all right. I'd rather go alone.
The poor woman. Must have been terrible for to see her husband like this. Lamont, please, let's get out of here.
Just a moment, Margaret.
What are you doing?
Something here on Garner's left hand that interests me.
Interests you? Oh, Lamont, don't.
I'm afraid I have to, darling. What's that? All right, Margot, come on.
Did you find something back there?
Maybe a clue, Margot. I can't say yet.
I still don't understand why your name was put down as the one who gave Seeley the money to release Garner.
It's an obvious attempt to sidetrack me.
Indiana must have known you were helping Garner.
Perhaps. I have an idea that bail bondsman is the answer to a few questions I have in mind.
But what if he won't talk?
He may keep something from me, Margot, but I'm sure the Shadow can find a way of getting the truth out of him.
Hello, this is Willie Seeley. Hey, what about that plane ticket? Okay, good. 9 o'clock, huh? Okay, I'll come right down and pick it up. Yeah. Hey, the lights. Who turned them off? Who's in here? Who's that? Who is it?
Going someplace, Seeley?
Who's laughing? Who is it? Who's laughing at me?
Turn on the lights, Seeley. See who's laughing at you.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad. You're over anxious, Seeley. You stumbled over that chair.
Who's playing a trick on me? Come on. Will you tell me who it is?
The light switch, Seeley. Then you'll know who it is.
Oh, that switch, all right. There. There ain't nobody here but me. I hear things ain't there. I better take a drink before.
Before you leave?
What?
You're not going anyplace, Seeley.
There is somebody here in my room.
Yes, Seeley, there is somebody.
But I don't see. I don't see nobody.
No one sees the Shadow.
Shadow? What? What do you want with me? What'd you come here for?
The truth.
Truth about what?
Who gave you the money to bail out Frank Garner this morning?
Bail out Garner? Well, Cranston. The guy called himself Lamont Cranston.
The truth, Seeley. I told you I want the truth.
Oh, okay. This guy just told me to put that name in a book. He said if I told anybody, he'd knock me off. He's a crazy kind of a guy. His room was dark and he kept the light in my face.
And his name was Diano?
Yeah, Diano, that's right. He gave me the money for the bond and he told me to beat it. I didn't know he was planning to knock off that Garner guy honest.
Why are you running away, Seeley?
Well, Diano. Maybe he thinks I know too much. Maybe he thinks I should get bumped off, too.
You're not leaving town, Seeley. You're staying right here.
But Diano...
If you try to leave, you have more to fear from the Shadow than Diano, Seeley.
Huh? Okay, man. Shadow? You come back? Hey, who is it? Who's there? Oh, I'll find out.
Touch that lamp, Seeley.
Diano.
Stay right in bed, Seeley. That's where you're going to die. In bed.
No, please, Diano, please.
Lie still, Seeley. It won't hurt you, Dad.
Oh, Diano, for the love of heaven.
It won't hurt at all. The way I do it.
Oh, Diano, wait. Oh, no! Oh!
Switch on the light, Margot.
Got it. Cranston.
What is this? Drop that gun, Diano, or my next shot will be through your head.
Yeah. Okay.
Cranston, huh? How'd you get here?
I had a hunch, Diano, would pay you a visit, Seeley.
Oh, it's not for me. He was going to knock me off.
Diano's business is foreclosed as of now. I'm keeping his bankruptcy a secret just long enough here to make a phone call for me.
Phone call? What are you talking about?
A business call, Diano. A very important one.
Mrs. Garner? Piano.
Is it over?
Yeah. I took care of Seeley.
All right, Deanna. You'll have the money tomorrow.
Is that piano, Vera?
Yes, Frank? Seeley's dead. We don't have to worry about him anymore. Everything's all set now.
Excellent. Excellent. Come on out here on the terrace, sir.
Well, don't you think we ought to be getting packed?
No hurry, Vera. Come on out and have a drink with me.
All right, Frank.
There you are, Vera.
Thanks.
Now let's drink to us.
If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not have a drink now.
Why, darling, we have so much to celebrate.
I know, but I'm frightened. I want to get away from here. I want to get away as fast as I can.
Frightened? Why, we're on top of the world. After all, the least you can do is drink to the happy success of your very clever husband's very clever plan.
Just that I'm so afraid something will go wrong.
What could possibly go wrong now? The actor I hired and trained to double for me is dead in my grave. He was hammy, but quite good. Particularly in the voice impersonation.
But Cranston still might find out.
What can Cranston find out? You told me yourself he was taken in all the way. Seeley's dead. And now that I'm legally dead, I'll be able to enjoy the $80,000 I borrowed from the company. Yes, I'll be able to enjoy it all alone.
Alone?
Oh, I forgot to mention it, Vera. I did have a part of my plan I didn't let you in on.
What are you talking about?
You, Vera. I don't need you any longer.
So what's the matter with you?
You served your purpose quite well.
Now, wait a minute.
I had no intention of sharing the money with you. As a matter of fact, I've been rather tired of you for quite some time.
You don't mean it, Frank. You're just saying that. You're joking.
No. I'm serious. Dead serious.
Stay away from me.
You're going over that terrace rail behind you to the ground 10 stories below.
No.
You're committing suicide, Vera.
Don't come near me.
It'll be quite plausible. The grief over your dear departed husband was too much for you to bear. You took your own life.
You won't get away with it. They'll find you out.
Find me out? You forget, my dear Vera, I'm dead. You identified my corpse in the morgue. You'll be murdered by a dead man, but no one will know about it.
No one, Garner?
There's somebody here. Oh, please, save me.
Go ahead, Garner. Push her off.
All right.
Go ahead, kill her. I'm no one. Just the shadow.
The shadow.
It was all his plan, all of it. I'm innocent. I had nothing.
She's a liar.
He was going to kill me.
I was only trying to frighten her, just trying to get the truth out of her.
Don't listen to her. I'll tell you everything.
She's lying to you. Believe me.
Stop it, both of you. I heard everything. You see, I was in your apartment before Diana phoned you a few minutes ago.
You? No.
Yes, Garner. The shadow knows. Now you'll pay for your crimes with your life. This time, your very own life.
Well, Margot, that ends the Garner affair. Now we can spend a pleasant evening devoted solely to Miss Margot Lane.
I'll bet.
Help me not even a mention of crime or violence, all right?
Mm-hmm. Lamont,
Yes, dear.
there's just one thing I'd like to know about the case.
I promised you no shop talk. I wouldn't think of going back on my
Stop
word.
acting so darn stuffy and tell me why Mrs. Garner came to you in the first place if she was in on her husband's plot.
Well, they wanted the plan to look good. They needed an unofficial witness.
How did you know there were two Frank Garners, the real one and the hired one?
Well, I didn't until I examined the left hand of the corpse in the morgue.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
The color of the skin under the wedding ring on the third finger was the clue. It was the same color as the rest of the finger.
I see. And if the ring had been worn for a number of years, the skin underneath would be of a lighter color. Is that right?
Right as a wedding ring.
Now, Mr. Cranston, you've hit on my favorite subject.
Cars parked just across the street there. It's a nice night for a drive.
We're not taking the car, Lamont.
Hmm?
Taxi!
But Margot.
I remember the last time you were going to drive me home, alone. Freeze the crowd, darling. Taxi! Taxi! Inside, you.
Okay, you win.
Where to, folks?
Why,
Around the park, driver. 100 times.
Young men, attention. Here is your opportunity to obtain a 4-year college scholarship at one of the leading colleges in the country. Your Navy has recently announced that the 3rd annual competitive examination for its officer college training program has been scheduled for December 11th, 1948, and will be open to high school seniors and graduates who are not less than 17 or more than 21 years of age on July 1st, 1949. Successful candidates will receive 4 years of college at the expense of the Navy, and in addition, they will receive retainer pay at the rate of $600 per year. Upon graduation, they may be commissioned as ensigns in the regular Navy or second lieutenants in the Marine Corps, and will be required to serve on active duty for a period of 2 years. Further information and application blanks are now available at all high schools, colleges, and naval recruiting stations. Don't delay. Apply now.
This story is copyrighted by Street and Smith Publications, Incorporated. All names and places are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Listen again next week, same time, same station, when the Shadow will again demonstrate that
the weed of crime bears bitter fruit.